Hello, my name is Michele Tittler, and I was contacted by ETs in 2020, early. And they asked me if I would do videos to get the word out. They want full disclosure. The Galactics are here. Q is the Galactic Federation of Light, and they are here to liberate Earth. They're here en masse by the millions and millions and millions. The following transmissions are me just reading the audio that they wrote to me. They asked me if I would meditate, and I said, I don't meditate, I suck at it. I'm not a light worker, I'm a light warrior. So they're like, all right. And one of the things they explained to me is that the whole Tower of Babel, all the different languages, that was all real. That was created to cause us to not be able to really communicate with each other. Also, the written language is different than spoken language, and that's also to cause us confusion and the inability to really communicate with each other. We did at one time. We were able to communicate telepathically, and we will be able to again at some point, but they've done so much to us to not be able to. These following transmissions, they're so obviously the Galactics, but these ones that contacted me specifically were in the EU. They were taking care of rescuing kids from the European Union ruling elites. They were in Spain. And they were the ones that told me that the Boom Festival in Spain and all of these really big love festivals, these psychedelic love festivals, they're almost all child trafficking festivals. The cabal uses the front of love to do evil. And everything is flipped upside down. What's up is down, what's down is up. But these were amazing transmissions. There were some things that I wasn't allowed. They asked me specifically. They told me more than this. They told me specifically what they were doing and some of the experiences that they had. But they told me I wasn't allowed to share those because they were personal and they could jeopardize their operation in Spain. But it was basically them going in and rescuing kids from these reptilians. Like when I say go in, I don't mean just knocking on the door, which they do that too. But I mean literally going into the Archon astral plane, which we can't do, and rescuing children's souls that have been trapped. When they torture a child, they can scare you so much that your soul jumps out of your body, and then they can replace it with a demon. Demons are real. Dark attachments are very, very real. There's a tremendous amount. We only live in 3D right now. We don't see everything. We don't have the brain or the eyesight to see everything around us, but there are dark attachments everywhere. So this was the first video that I made. The second one, I've already posted it on my Rumble. Both of my YouTube accounts have been terminated. So I'm just going to keep uploading these to new sites. But it's extremely important information, and it's heavy, and it's very intellectual. I mean, these guys are talking quantum physics and stuff. They didn't get in too much into that, but it's so obvious they're the Galactics. They are so much more advanced than us, and they just know stuff we don't know. And so these are the transmissions. This is the first video. It's super exciting, you guys. They really are here. They love us, and all they want from us is to raise the vibrations. They want full disclosure on everything because we've been lied to about everything. History, physics, math, everything, okay? They're bringing sacred geometry, they're bringing real physics, and they're bringing real history. The sinking of Atlantis, you must have heard of that. That's when the Archons took over. And the good ETs weren't allowed to get in anymore because they put a shield around the Earth. Okay, that shield was lifted 2 years ago, and they are here. And we're going to meet them very soon. We're all going up to 5D Earth. This is Ascension to 5D Earth, so look into that. All right, this is my intro, almost over. It's long and it's heavy, you guys. So unless you're dedicated, you might not be interested, but it's very interesting. And I loved it, and they were amazing people. I loved them. They were funny, too. The ETs are funny. They're funny. Okay, enjoy. Greetings, everyone. Just letting you know that I was contacted by an organization that I'm not going to name. They haven't really told me their name anyway. They opened up an account on Twitter just to contact me, and they're telling me about the child trafficking rings in the EU, in particular Portugal and Spain. And they are also telling me that they're run by basically the bad ETs. That's where we're at, people. That's where we're at. And so they saw that I wasn't afraid to tackle the ET issue and the child trafficking issue. So they've contacted me and asked me to do videos. So I'm not going to tell you what their Twitter account name is. I'm just going to read all of the entries that they gave me, because I was going to read them anyway and record them just so I could get it into my mind and make videos, just free-form talking. But I realized I might as well make videos out of the stuff I'm reading directly from them. There will be a bit I don't read because there's some private stuff in there. And there's some just personal conversations we have. But I'll read all of the text of the important stuff to you, and I will tell you it's going to be about child trafficking, the EU ruling elites, archons, dracos, reptilians. It's also going to be about cannabis and how the government is taking over cannabis because it's got properties that are actually healthy for us, and they want to stop that. And it's also about meditation. They're teaching us about meditation too. So I will tell you, I know that I'm speaking to higher beings as soon as I was contacted by them. I kind of already assumed that they were the good ETs, and that's where we're at too. They're here. And so I didn't ask them, and they don't tell me, but I just sense right off the bat that I'm talking to the good ETs, and it doesn't really matter to me one way or the other. All I know is they're rescuing kids, and so that's where we're at. And I'm going to read to you the multitude of entries that they gave to me. I think I screen capped 120 screen caps. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. So just bear with me. And there are some accent issues in some of this. But I think I explained that. Okay, thank you for your time, and enjoy this wonderful contact from these amazing people who are helping kids. So this is number one. And they begin with, Hugh are here. Hugh is H-U. Hugh are here. Permission for contact granted. Already established a coherent connection. Receptive on your acknowledgement. And it was in my, they weren't following me and I wasn't following them. So it went to a spam folder, and I didn't even know it was there for quite a while. So I answered back on the, 8th. Hello, sorry for the late reply. This went to a spam folder and I just got it. And they reply, Hugh are here as we have been focused on liberating planet Earth from tyrants. Feel free to share your availability for us to reach out to you. It's important. And I say, yes, I'm available to you. And then they say, Hugh, blessings to us. H-U. They talk about Hugh quite a bit in this. It's fascinating. Now, I will say there are some things that I've read, and there's a lot that I have not read yet. So the reason why I'm making these recordings is because I really need to record what they said to me, except for one part that they asked me not to share with anyone, so I won't be recording that part. But otherwise, I need to record it so I can go back on it. And just so I can learn it, because there was a lot I missed, because they were writing to me for quite a while. And once I realized they asked me if I would make videos. And once I realized they were asking something of me, I had to clear my schedule so I could do this for them. So I sort of ran around for 4 days, and just tried to get all the stuff that was on my plate organized and finished and out of the way so I could clear a path for just this. So that's where I am now, and this is the beginning of it. So they say, grateful for your availability, and I say, what is Hugh? And you have to know that there's a lot of delay in the answers on DMs. So you ask a question, but they're already writing something, so they don't get your question until later, so they answer later. So please don't think they're, like, some of it's a little bit disorganized. And also, they just start writing to me randomly because they realize that I am available. I want to do this with them, and so they just start writing when it's good for their time. And that's the stuff, a lot of the stuff I've missed. Okay, they say this. But before I really get into this, I don't want to do a lot of talking throughout it. But I will say at this point, I can feel from the very beginning that it's ETs that are reaching out to me. And I learned throughout this communication that they are reaching out to me because they know that I'm okay with ETs, because they're disclosing to me the bad ETs. And I think they're good ETs. Now, they might be in human form, but there's just a lot about what they say that tells me that they're ETs, and I'm all comfortable with that. So I don't even ask them, and they don't actually come right out and tell me. I think they just assume that I know, and I actually do know, and so they assumed right. Okay. We are here to save our planet. In 2017, our teams did a great job taking down a huge transnational child trafficking organization. Oh, one last thing I need to say. They're talking to me from Portugal, and there's some accent involved, and there is some, they're definitely an intelligent, whoever's writing to me is intelligent, and there's a team of them. But there are a few language word differences you'll see. So when there's just language barrier. That's all. You'll hear it, okay? But otherwise, they do an excellent job. They're really intelligent. And so they say taking down a huge transnational child trafficking organization, and I say everyone has done such a great job. And they say, Hugh, it's a higher vibrational frequency that allows us to reach source without boundaries. And I say, okay. There is a being that can help us. Teach me. I'm very teachable, I say. I can do this. Our hearts is the one teaching us here. We already did. Allow us some moments to gather some information to share. And I say, okay, thank you. Then they give me a link, paralleltime.com, about Scott. Scott Lemriel is part of the Liberation Project and the plan. Listen to Hugh, H-U. See it with the heart and research about it after the first try so the mind doesn't acknowledge information first. It's very important for incarnated beings to math this coherent frequency. Since there is no time, we are here in standby to share more information about the liberation going on planet Heart, with specifics regarding Portugal. What's going on regarding Portugal must get out to the world because the invisible enemy, in quotations that was, and just like President Trump just did the invisible enemy in quotations, is actually in visible mode for us. And this child trafficking network is spread worldwide. And I say, are you in Portugal? I listened to the Hugh first and loved it right away. Thank you. They sent me the stuff that taught me what Hugh was, and it's about meditating and doing Hugh and just doing the HU sound and connecting with everybody, but they explain it more here. Yes, we're taking down the tyrants. We are available to share everything. And I say, how can I help? I've already shared the huge Twitter and I will spread it, but what else can I do to help you guys? And they say, this beings are infiltrated in politics, authorities, and all aspects of society. They use this a lot instead of these beings, and I'm not putting them down because this is such a highly intelligent person. This is the language translation. These are the odd words in English. English is one of the hardest words to learn because of these exact things. This, these, those, them, there, like that's exactly where people go wrong. So please excuse this because I'm going to read it exactly as they're writing it to me. And they make this mistake only because of the translation, not because of the information or the high intelligence. And you'll hear that quite clearly. Back to them speaking. These beings are infiltrated in politics, authorities, and all aspects of society. And I say, are you the Galactic Federation of Light, or are you incarnated human? We as a team, and again, they don't always answer back right away because I'm writing while they're writing. We as a team would like to answer that, but we only are aware of the tyrants we are fighting. So these beings came to Portugal in 1996. They organized a festival. It happens on Portugal every 2 years. In Portugal. They do a correction. It happens in Portugal every 2 years. Then some 8 years ago, they came up with a festival made between the biennial festival and the focus on children. Their ideology is Nazi. They practice Satanism, and some are born in Luciferians. The festival is a front for child trafficking and for a child trafficking operation they run. Children come in caravans in hippie style and are sold during the festival. It's a big MK Ultra program, but the beings behind it have connections to those who created it. Adrenochrome is used by them, but they also drink blood and eat human flesh.
but this you are already aware of. The European Union is part of this cult. Funds are directed to the mayor's city and funneled to these events. Some of these beings are able to kill humans and harvest their souls on the fly without any damage to the physical body. Did you just hear that? Some of these beings are able to kill humans and harvest their souls on the fly without any damage to the physical body. They attack the eye of the victim. In an epileptic seizure occurs, then they are able to consume the soul by reaching the pineal gland and pituitary. The being goes to the astral plane only as a spirit, and with the programming with this trauma, and now without a soul, it's a forced spiritual battle. We already won. Some of these beings have 6 toes. I thought that was one of the that was one of the fun. This is literally just one sentence they wrote to me. This is hilarious. I love this person. We already won. Some of the beings have 6 toes. We are talking about, they move me into that. What they're talking about is reptilians, archons, and dracos. So I'm gonna cut to the chase here for you guys, just so you know where we're headed here. So I go back to them reading, okay? Wait, I need a sip. Wait. All right. It's a big cult with MK Ultra style followers. Most of them are unaware and can be activated worldwide. Wow. I'm going to say that again. It's a big cult with MK Ultra style followers. Most of them are unaware and can be activated worldwide. Starting to get what's happening on Twitter and everything, you guys. I'm not supposed to do any more commentary here, but it's hard not to. Can you see this? Do you know who we're fighting? The satanic left? I call them the satanic left. That's why. Clones, reptilians, demons, and people who've been taken over. Okay, so back to them speaking. Otherwise, you'll just keep thinking it's me doing commentary. So back to them speaking. That's one of the reasons we didn't make it public yet. They are non-human, but have human vessels, human-looking vessels. Most of them are in what we might refer to as the afterlife. Oh my God. See, don't forget, you guys, some of this stuff I skimmed over it and I haven't totally read it all. So I'm going to be reacting to a lot of this. Which is an artificial construct matrix built up by the tyrant controllers. Okay, let's do that again, you guys. Most of them are in what we might refer to as the afterlife, which is an artificial construct matrix built up by the tyrant controllers. Okay, that's heavy. In the energetic plane from which they operate, they are able to instantly manifest their thoughts by accessing our consciousness. Their thoughts are artificial. Climate change is actually claim at change, since we are awake and claiming planet Earth back. So they have been warning themselves using that illusion. They are in Lisbon, Porto, Caldas da Rainha, Castelo Branco. We need to be away for around an hour and we shall be back soon. If this information is helping you somehow, that's good, since there is more of it. And I say to them, yes, I'm very grateful. I am the right person to spread this news. Thank you very much. Stay safe. I love you all. Heart, heart, heart. I appreciate anything you can tell me. And then they say Sunday, they come back on Sunday at 6:42 a.m. We are here back on track. This organization and Nazi operation is being run by beings in Portugal, Spain, Switzerland, Belgium, Germany, Poland, Estonia, Moldova, Taiwan, China, United States, on America. They say in brackets, on America. I think they mean of America. And all around the world, direct connection to orphanages ran by members of this network. Soon there will be United States on America. Oh, maybe they did mean on America. This gets heavy, you guys, so just stay with me here, okay? There's a lot of stuff in this. This is just the beginning. That's why I'm recording it. I actually realized at a certain point I could no longer skim over it. They bring me in a very skimmable way, and then they hit me really hard, and I realized, okay, I got to record this. Okay, so back to them. We are preparing graphics information to be spread worldwide. These beings are the coronavirus. They run on artificial intelligence matrix, which they talk directly to. We gather notes from them, handwritten, and they specifically change messages with Alice. Alice is written in capital letters here, ALICE. For beings connected to organic source, this is beyond imagination. I'm going to read that again, you guys, okay? These beings are the coronavirus. They run on artificial intelligence matrix, which they talk directly to. We gather notes from them, handwritten, and they specifically change messages with Alice. For beings connected to organic source, this is beyond imagination. Imagination is the key for a free is-be. Is-be is spelled capital I, capital S, apostrophe or slash, B-E, capital B, capital E. And we are here as Hugh, H-U. And I say, fascinating, thank you so much. And they say, by the way, did this account get deleted by Twitter or messed up regarding the registration of the handle in January this year? Okay, so what they're talking about is I was Q plus in December. I'm 37, Q plus 3730. And then Jordan Sather, who is Deep State, attacked me with a bunch of trolls. Nobody really knows what I went through, but it was really serious. Only I could see it, which is really brilliant. I understand now how the Deep State does work. I've watched it quite carefully. I was attacked by 100 accounts. It was no less than. And Jordan Sather triggered all of them. No one saw what I saw. No one did the digging that I did. I knew Jordan Sather was Deep State. And so that account got suspended because I was saying Jordan Sather, I was being attacked. And in answering, they were also reporting me, and then that account got suspended. So these people want to know, am I legit? Am I still me? So we go through, I'll skip through that. And because I just explained it to you and I explain it to them, and we go through a whole bunch of verifying, and they ask me if I can please verify myself. So I do a whole bunch of verifying, and I think I'll actually stop this now and start a recording number 2, because now I have to scroll through all of this conversation where we verify and we chat. We actually do kind of more of a personal chat, and it's lovely. I love these people right off the bat. They're really gentle and sweet and pure, and I love them. But I'm going to start number 2 now, okay? Hang on. Okay, this is recording number 2. And we have chatted here personally for a while. We've talked about Liz Crokin and Canada and that kind of thing, because Liz Crokin it really broke the story wide open in the United States of the Hollywood pedophile rings. So then they say to me, and I don't know if this is a male or a female talking to me, so I might say they or he or she. I don't really know. They haven't given me their name. Okay, they say, we only know what they are doing in Portugal, not aware of what they are doing in Canada before reaching here. This operation we are sharing with you has been ongoing since 2002. One with courage to talk first. I think they're referring to Liz Crokin there. We are aware of the information she shared. For us, you are enough for the start. You can handle it. Just a lot of information and digging must be the focus before letting the first word out. As we shared, this network is big and well prepared for information warfare online, and they've prepared for it since 2018. Our team just didn't put any word online yet, and since then they have been going down and making a lot of errors, which are now easy to track by us all. And then they say, do you have some patience, as we are counting on your help? We need to pressure some government people in Portugal before letting it out. Then they say, we are dealing with reptilians and Dracos, and also clones and drones. There is a probable connection with the secret space program, Nazi SSP. Our team infiltrated this dark project in 2002. So this is real. It's a black project running from Portugal. It happened and we reached out. We feel grateful for this connection, and we choose the highest coherency as source vibrational frequency to keep on flowing. We don't flip. We never flipped. We are source. They're answering some of my questions, so it may seem disjointed, but I'm not putting in everything that I'm asking them or saying to them. When we remain on the heart, their artificial mind power is nothing. The heart generates truthful gravitational waves and can handle all lies. Is there any other platform that you feel more coherent for us to keep on going with this? Okay, this is not part of it. Okay, it's important to, sometimes we're bantering back and forth too, right? So bear with me here. It's important to have coherent being as part of the team outside of Portugal, and that the news comes from the outside. So we chat for a little bit about that, and I tell them that I can take it to different social media sites. Okay, here we go. I've asked them a few questions. Regarding the second question, that's objective to share truth. All info gathered was based on knowing by first-hand experiences since 2002 till now. So when something is shared, it generates perceptions. That's why language is so limited and has been used to fool human beings. Telepathy should be the first option for communication. And I say that would be so pure. Then they say, this Dracos and reptilians use telepathy to communicate, so they share a hive mind, but it's synthetic telepathy. Okay, I'm going to say that again to you. This Dracos and reptilians use telepathy to communicate, so they share a hive mind, but it's synthetic telepathy. There are incarnated souls. Those usually follow the positive polarization. Those who are not incarnated are just spirit and can manifest a body. This operate on auto mirror mode. And if the human being is on low vibration, upon dealing with them, strange stuff will manifest, since they are mirroring the source energy and feeding from it through others, incarnated. Okay. Let's do that again, you guys. This is heavy stuff. These are incarnated souls. Those usually follow the positive polarization. Those who are not incarnated are just spirit and can manifest a body. This operate on auto mirror mode. And if the human being is on low vibrational, upon dealing with them, strange stuff will manifest, since they are mirroring the source energy and feeding from it through others, incarnated. This cult uses a lot of drugs for mind control and to allow them to influence the humans or incarnated beings by rewiring their minds and chemistry, so the beings get upgraded to access their artificial intelligence network, which is ruled by the archons. As we know it, that's why human beings live so short span lifetimes. It seems these beings can only remain on their plane of existence for about 50 years as Earth cycles. And since they feed upon incarnated beings, that's why we have around 70 plus years old lifespan for humans. Humans are their food. Magic rules the world with applied intention, and that's what has been fueling human emotions. And they feed from it, from that energy. So they charge symbols with negative polarization in order to generate loosh, exploiting the human telepathic functions. Occultism is nothing more than computer programs with negative polarization to be emulated by programmable life forms as they perceive humans this way. This is not the answer for the first question, just something that popped up. So we can track down these negative beings. And we did it once more and managed to get into some hidden spot in Portugal. This is a part where I can't talk about this part. They asked me not to talk about this part. Okay, so talks a bit about the matriarchs in the reptilians and how their projection are not okay. So basically their telepathic synthetic network running on artificial intelligence, which some of them refer to as Alice, capital ALICE, seems to have been shut down. Their projections are not able to influence the human mind. They're not able to create mind hooks to start manipulating, and they asked us to leave. Oh, this is something different. They have 5-star configuration as humans, but the way they walk. Okay, I asked them, do they look reptilian? How do we know if they're reptilians? Do they look human? And so they say they have 5-star configuration as humans, but the way they walk, talk, and the sounds they make are reptilian. This one has 5 fingers. By 5-star configuration, we mean head, 2 arms, and 2 legs. The female face looks are reptilian. The man, he was human, but okay, this is more the stuff they asked me not to share. Okay. I can't share that. I can't share that. It's just, could put some people in jeopardy, so they asked me not to share some certain things they told me. For example, this can't go public for now, right? So that's what they're saying to me, is at least working on this during the quarantine to have greater impact. Next week, we have a lot of work to do on the ground, and we will visit the organization headquarters in Portugal. Okay, so reptilian, because, okay, so I asked, is the queen reptilian? And they say there's more to it than just reptilian. Reptilian because she is a matriarch, but there might be heavy Draco influence. And regarding the interaction between her and Trump, also, we made a decode of her message this Easter, but it's always good to see body language plus speech plus written message of the speech. Usually due to pronunciation, they spell it different from what's written. So the intention and what is projected isn't the same. A reptilian is more on mirror mode and shape shifts according to the source being mirrored, while manipulating with projections, and it becomes the hidden intention manifested in the holographic reality of the light source consumed. The Draco has a strong vibration and doesn't shape shift that much. There is no argument. It is what they project, and the being manipulated drops vibration quickly. If not aware and spiritually capable of dealing with those energies, the reptilian needs projection. The Draco's vibrational field instantly affects, but they share the same synthetic telepathic network. By answering your question, we haven't shared any present moment with the Queen, so we didn't feel her frequency or ever looked much into it. But by having such role to play, she must have Draco's energy on her. Just a reptilian wouldn't do it. Too vulnerable for such a position. And we still have clones. That is something that usually makes it harder by generating confusion. But we feel the need to express that the experience we have is with beings from this specific cult. For example, we are aware that their ideology is Nazi. They use symbolism. But for them, that's just a joke. It's folklore. They use it to identify themselves between each other, and it automatically generates confusion and fear in others. Because of this negative energetic charge and correspondent miasma incarnated beings bring with them. For example, a human being is coherent on his heart frequency, but if the human detects a pattern based on a symbol, the heart frequency drops and the mind takes control of the human energy field to process the information, which can recall all present life information gathered upon that symbol or previous information gathered from any other field. In that instant, the reptilian or Draco knows they are in control of the thought process of the human and feed more information into it until the heart takes control back. This can all be done without the awareness of the human. Thoughts are electric and emotions are magnetic, and the multidimensional abilities of the humans are exploited this way for them to manifest their intentions on the organic matrix. Miasma can be seen as all information registered on an energetic level, which result from trauma that can be emulated later on upon being faced with a trigger or traumatic event. I'll say that again. Miasma can be seen as all information registered on an energetic level which result from trauma that can be emulated later on upon being faced with a trigger or traumatic event. Planet Earth is a living being, has been emulating a lot of miasmas. All living beings go through it because this negative and regressive alien races feed from it. When a ritual sacrifice is performed, they invert the energy flow on the planet meridians, and the living body of the planet suffers, and so suffers the beings living on her. If a being is stuck on such low energies, it gets blocked from source, and the only way to access energy from source is to exploit others. So these beings run on artificial synthetic energy that parasites source and the beings connected to source. For an incarnated being, love is gravity. The more love we have inside, the soul grows as the human heart creates electromagnetic waves. So when there is now fear, the human can project the soul out of the body and go beyond imagination. When the soul gets back into the physical body, it brings more information to be processed in the awake state. Due to the interference of this regressive alien races, the human identifies the living experience with the body, and the only option there is on this state of awareness is to leave the body by going to sleep. By then the state of amnesia verifies itself again, and it's hard to remember what happened during sleep. That's why meditation is important, to project the soul consciously out of the body and travel. It's all about choices, and planet Earth is a planet that runs on free will. Meditation can be felt as a conscious intention to change an alternate state of consciousness. While awake on the physical plane, humans emulate what happened when they were out of body, for most at night when sleep occurs. So the instant manifestation process is always there, but without conscious effort to choose where to go while out of body, most are vulnerable to what happens during sleep, and there is a layer of the astral where the reptilians and Dracos operate as the synthetic artificial intelligence network induces nightmares. Sleep time is supposed to be instant access to source and a specific dream time. During the war with these beings, we were able to live awake during daytime and awake during sleep time, until some specific key members of the team got killed and lost in the astral plane for more than a year. For the present moment, just don't reveal. Oh, that's what say, because they're telling me something now I can't talk about. Okay. I'm going to take a quick break here, and I'll go to number 3 in a minute. Okay, this is number 3, and I'm glad I stopped because I went back and I've missed a part. So here we are here. I just want to say how much I love you all for what you're doing to help these kids. And they say, we are grateful for being here supporting liberation on planet Earth. Usually when we feel the need to pre-share information, we rare it up or zip it up with random file names and upload it to file sharing services. Once shared, we delete. Everything that goes on YouTube like platforms is stored by them anyway, but there is no problem. Even the information shared here has already been logged by platforms and the AI. This is interesting, you guys. Okay, this part I went back to read for you. I love this part. They say, also, language has been developed and changed by them, that's the reptilians, to fit their hidden agenda, and we use it to communicate, as we previously shared telepathy as the way, and spoken language is magical vibrations that manifest the inner reality projected on the hologram. Written language is an instruction. Spoken language is a command. Then, with different pronunciation, there are spells. So when the heart does the talking, the vibration goes through the vocal cords and affects matter. And AI and all these beings follow accordingly. This is something for you to process. We don't know if any Anon noticed this, but we are aware we are busting energetic vampires. This caught on the attention of our team, and then they give me a link to a YouTube White House video. Check at 13240, 2 different sources from the same environment. In the first we can hear, but we can't see. In the second we can hear, and we can see who said it. Watch the body language. Who is the second guy repeating the voice command given by the military? He just received an input and replicated it. Does it mean the task force is in control of this being? Who is he? Also, when Trump talks, he creates mind cycle loops by repeating and reinforcing again. If a reptilian manipulator listens, we will be programmed in a loop with the information. The end is the starting point, and the starting point is the end. There is no in-between or way to achieve something, so he trolls them good. Listens. Oh, they just corrected themselves. Also, the reptilians are wired to give and receive orders as the form of commands, so small phrases are the best to communicate with them. Too much talk and they get fed up and start manipulating. But still, every human has reptilian DNA, so when a human is on low vibration, the only frequency reachable is the one available on the genetics for the energy to flow. If the soul is not from a negative polarization, it will control all the DNA and energetic pathways available. As we are all different and unaware of our differences, it's easy for them to manipulate the environment. Did you look at the 2 clips we shared about the don't hit blow? Oh yeah, they sent me clips. So we chat a bit more here about when we're going to get back together, because we're trying to hook up the times and when we meet and chat. And then they say, tune into Hugh from Scott Lemriel. Strongest support we can have around confirmed by reptilian matriarch. Keep on flowing. They say goodbye. We say we're going to meet up again. Today we met with, I think this part I shouldn't say. Okay, here's the next part about cannabis. This really fascinated me because I didn't expect this from them. Cannabis and hemp and also mushrooms are vital for the planet's cleansing and for DNA activation. They were the greatest organic tools we could get in touch with to win this war. Mushrooms interact with the thymus gland endocrine system. It's possible to revert the shrinking process that occurs while growing up. It's also part of the reverse aging process, and all the body will follow. Then the immune system is restored and improved beyond imagination. Then imagination unlocks the DNA, and it's possible to choose what to activate, and humans can activate whatever abilities then are able to imagine when complete homeostasis state is achieved. Also on the planet's surface, any field that isn't touched in 1 or 2 years, grass will grow. If nothing is done to it, it will dry up on the soil. Soon mushrooms will grow, and an intelligent organic network is built up by nature. If cannabis is planted, it will be the most coherent and stable organic energetic source for humans. If all is available in 1 or 2 years Earth cycle run around the sun, we can completely restore and activate our primordial energetic structure and win any battle without even a single fight, because organic source energy is higher than any artificial frequency exploding the energetic hologram. We were wounded many times. We could heal instantly, and some sort of gold-like particles would close the wounds, and there would be no scars left on the skin after healing. The gold-like skin dust is something amazing, as we felt like Homo luminos. Trump just said this is a military and beyond that operation. Good morning. We are going out for some hours. Back soon. We are back from I shouldn't say where they're back from. Yeah, they're doing some really serious operations in Portugal. Okay, so this is some stuff I can't give away. There's a way to go outside. The way total disclosure. That's why we're feeding information of this cult to the authorities. So when all is released, the ones who had contact with our information will have to act. And there's no point in claiming that it's all just conspiracy theories, as they are used to just dismissing it that way. We are flowing on highest truth, absolute truth. They are going down, and public statement has been done by them about it in the form of military comms. It's good we didn't make it public yet, because they were revealing themselves this way with the pressure being made. Okay, and then I talk to them for a while. And then they say they're going down in Europe as we speak, and they decided to shut down any type of communication between members. This is using public ways to spread comms. It's not a problem for them since they use an artificial hive mind. It's good we know who they are in order to expose them. We are grateful for your audio shares. It's all good. We just need to justify yourself. So I just sent them some audio stuff to talk to them about what I was doing on this side. Also, there's some very specific tool you can use to heal the blockage limiting your hands, because I told them I had an injury. It's an anti-gravity tool that allows you to touch the 0-point field and absorb source energy into your vibrational field. Promoting coherency, it also allows you to rewire your brain in specific ways. For those not aware, it might be nothing. But as always, with the coherent input, it's a magical instrument. It was used by our team against the Dracos and reptilians. Everything we do with our hands is a way for the energy to flow, usually by acting upon the physical world. So energy gets out of the body with that tool energy. Goes in without the need to do anything. Oh. And you have access to cannabis. You can heal yourself pretty fast. Oh, if you have access to cannabis, you can heal yourself pretty fast. We are outside now, and there is a lot of noise here. Later on, we'll update you on this. The hands are our vessels, our pure expression of the wiring on the brain as the electrical impulses are generated. So with this, it's possible to raise the frequency on the physical body. The soul grows infinitely without any distortion caused by the artificial intelligence matrix anomaly. Cannabis allows bone density to increase. With this, the muscles will also grow. More muscles will grow. We will have muscles on our bodies that are not known in current scientific anatomy. Blood flow will increase, and oxygen absorption increases. Our team reached a state in which a few breaths a day were needed to travel between dimensions, as we are organic electromagnetic portals. This all tied to the reverse aging process previously referenced. So both hands get to be dominant, both eyes get to be dominant, both brain hemispheres grow in coherence. The corpus callosum also grows. Therefore, human beings are able to project with their eyes and transmute matter. So what is seen with the eyes also manifests when the eyelids open. Cool. I said that. They didn't say cool. Then they say, so there's a cross-reference to the meditation process and coherent visualization with the pineal gland that is projected when we open our eyes and see. The internal world of any being gets manifested. For the current science, there are dexterous beings mostly, and some left-handed. We have access to all our bodies consciously, so the energy flows without any notion of laterality. We are balanced. Any feet can be the one to make the first step, be it the left or right. That's how we're able to bypass all those who followed the left-hand path on this cult. We interacted with many beings who are artists, but they are also solar right-handed and are always being fed information via the right brain telepathically by this tyrant negative regressive alien races that run under AI, because internally those souls didn't find a way to consciously be in control of their vessel. The amnesia state of incarnated beings used to allow the synthetic matrix AI to limit this kind of expression of the souls. That's why also left-handed people suffer a lot and have been chased, because they are connected to source and have instant access to the artificial matrix that was set up. It has been shut down now, so it will be easier to start getting access to this energy fields now. We had contact with a lot of children, and we know there are many children with whom we shared this knowledge and training. They could not be touched by these tyrants and are impossible to be manipulated by lower frequencies. Interesting, you said you feel the need to improve your resources for this. Absolute disclosure on this fight. The reptilians destroyed all our digital instruments, like computers, for example. So we only have an old laptop for how to communicate with you. Many of our research got stolen by them, but we knew that once they did their trick of hacking us upon being in contact with our information, their artificial intelligence mind structure would collapse. So it happened. And so it happened. They used information to manipulate the masses. So they took the bait and information from source, infiltrated the other side. Okay, so they took the bait and information from source, infiltrated the other side. This was part of our plan. We offered to heal them and allowed them to get to know source. They kept on fighting and fallen upon their tricks. This was the only way, as it gave them a false sense of power over source. But as soon as they started to process the stolen information from our team, their old ways of control were gone, and there was only source. They are starting to disappear. Their bodies can't handle these frequencies. There are some reptilians that are aware that we would enjoy saving, but they said nothing can be changed, and they are starving. They don't know better. They are full of nanoparticles and connected to the artificial AI. So we are consciously aware that the only way is for humanity and all incarnated beings to raise to a coherent frequency when we are full on unconditional love. We are able to project love into them. And they won't need to vampirize humans anymore in their insane search for organic energy. The thing is that they are wired as predators. So it's important to raise the vibrational frequency and be aware on who they are and how they operate. Another point we are focused on is about restoring or allowing their souls to come back into their bodies. Some are soulless beings, but not clones. So many interdimensional entities are allowed to exploit their vessels because their souls were harvested when they were still children. So the souls have been fragmented and forced out of the body, and they are trapped. We feel it's possible to revert this and have specific instructions to do so, if and when a reptilian joins Source. It's a very strong ally in this liberation process of the planet. We made strong connections with incarnated reptilian souls, and they are very strong upon working on their positive internal polarization, but very vulnerable when triggered by other negative tyrants. So their focus is to learn to be neutral because they are aware of both sides. Humans are totally internal positive polarization because there is always good or positive polarization emanating from Source. And without duality, only good things happen, and there is no good or evil, just energy source, just source energy. Evil is taught and learned by those who manipulate to induce trauma and consume the energy released on those events, so they got hooked into it and don't know better, because their hearts have been darkened by their own. So there are many negative factions all feeding from the same energy connected to Source through humans and incarnated beings. We haven't talked that much about our origins, but we have defeated this negative alien races many times without any need to fight. But humans are very sensible, and since all have reptilian DNA, we have faced many on low vibration being used by this reptilian entities, and the souls get afraid by what's happening to them and jump out of the body. So these entities exploit their vessels. The subject on this matter is very extensive, and the surface beings have been very vulnerable by this invisible threat. Okay, there's the invisible threat. All right, you guys, did you just hear that? The invisible threat, that's twice. Back to them talking. It can be addressed to the specific cases of possession by these entities, and when these entities leave the exploited vessel, the soul gets back, but might not remember what happened. Still, for the outside observer, if there is judgment, that soul might be blocked due to that external projection. So there is a lot to the disclosure and how all this used to operate, how all this is used to operate. But now there is no going back, and in the present moment we can transmute it all. But we are all different in many aspects. There are genetics, souls, choices, and free will. And we are only able to be aware on what we are because we made specific choices to support the liberation ongoing on planet Earth. And then there is a contrast on the outside to the choices made internally. So it's all mirrored projections. The reptilians can read the mind and influence it, but can't understand the heart. So they will mirror the thoughts that they can't conceive and start acting dumb. But we have cases of female body reptilians which look very beautiful due to the heart frequencies they are trying to process mentally. But the human, if not aware, will empathically connect and be there asking what's wrong, what's happening. And if the reptilian gets to be in contact for too much time, lies and projections are shared to the lower vibration of the other beings so they can take control, victim, victimizer, shame, and blame, because if we send them love, they run away. But when humans and incarnated beings are in a coherent state on love, they will be around as predator. They will be around as predator. This is a shape-shifting method, and they have been harvesting souls for so long. That's why they are shapeshifters and have knowledge that's used to control the planet. And there are so many different negative factions. So the more souls harvested, and then they put in brackets, killing a being doesn't mean to destroy the physical vessel. There are some who, upon entering the victim's body, can consume the pineal gland and take over the body. Okay, out of brackets now. When this happens, the soul would travel to the astral plane, and the artificial intelligence matrix is upgraded with all the info that being had to win the fight for the liberation ongoing on planet Earth. That's also why they harvest the children's souls with the sacrifices, to update their artificial synthetic mirror energetic matrix with the soul's plan for the beings they sacrifice. And they get stronger because the knowledge is gathered, and then the being is trapped in the plane from which nothing can be done to make it happen. And all beings, including the incarnated benevolent beings, will know it. So that being is perfectly read by all beings because the soul's plan was hijacked. Then, if that being is part of the cult, the vessel will be used for reprogramming in order to fit the cult's needs. That's why all negative regressive tyrant races seem to be one and all the same side while fighting. There are beings that despite the fact of being killed that way, they have free will to incarnate again and get back to their body full on. And the soul gets back. All fragments are recovered, and then the fight goes on as a finite game for the regressive negative tyrant alien races, because their intent is to keep the killed being on that astral plane, either to vampirize other incarnate beings for the cult, or to decide to die and incarnate on another vessel as a newborn on the astral plane. Thought manifests instantly. That's why the cult members need to make sacrifices while on that plane to step up the pre-existing hierarchy established on the astral plane. That's also why they can't be arrested for anything. They will just vanish if they needed, wanted, or possess the guard that opens the door or writes the papers for them to be released and destroys it all upon release. Then they leave the guard's body, and the guard doesn't even remember because he suddenly got ill. The females in the cult do this when caught, and they lure the regular human being who works for money as a police officer into sex to take advantage of their energy. So the system doesn't work at all when dealing with these beings, rather than being a fake front to project the illusion projected by them, in which incarnated beings used to believe and co-create without awareness of what's really going on this planet. We are writing this on the fly now. We need to leave for some moments in order to meet with, I don't want to tell you who. It's her last opportunity to accept our help for now. Wow. Okay, so I'm going to take a little break here because I have to just see what the next part is. A lot of the stuff I haven't even read yet. So please excuse me while I ramble through it with you guys. It's pretty heavy. I think what they're basically saying is, and I've heard this before, these beings have kept us in a soul loop for a long time. We don't actually, we just keep looping around and around and around in their matrix. And that we're being liberated, the liberation here. And I think the coronavirus has something to do with this too. I've heard that it's connected to AI, and I think that they tell me this later on. So I'm going to take a little break and come back with the next clip in just a sec here. This is clip number 4. And again, I went back because there was a whole bunch of stuff I skipped when I was trying to avoid the personal conversations. And so I'll do this part and then I'll resume where I was before. They say to me, okay, if this is real, we choose for our heart to transmute with source energy that we are. All negative intentions that originated the belief systems that manifested with specific events or news or truth that some being shared so it never was part of any and all energy that we are one with. I didn't really quite get that one. And as soon as we match the vibrational frequency of the choice we made, we are it. Otherwise, when faced with something negative, upon being triggered, human beings tend to go to war and end up being played by this shadow being, by these shadow beings that feed on negative energy. We don't need to fight them on a physical level when, as a collective, we make separate individual choices coherent with source intention. Because if we think upon what we feel, we can change their artificial thoughts that influence our emotions. All the 3D matrix has been taught by them and manifested through humans. They have been building up a ruin. They don't care because they don't feel. Some are highly radioactive and spread disease on humans. They feel superior because we don't know what they know. They only exist because humans are alive, and they focus on killing to survive. Humans can live forever until they choose to, and when the consciousness on the soul makes that choice, all changes accordingly. Oh, okay, they've just done a little correction. There is so much to be shared. Once a reptilian matriarch told a member of our team that a book should be written, and smiled. There might be something interesting to share. In 2010, we met a guy. I think I better not share. This is the part that I can't share. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to resuming where I was before. Okay, so going back to where we were before, they say there are some typos here and there, but we are on the move and not really thinking about how to share all this. It just flows. We are benevolent, and our intention is source's intention, gratitude regarding this coherent connection established with Hugh. And I say, absolutely astonishing information. I love you. Stay safe. And then they say, here's where we resume. We are feeling that the oxygen levels are raising a lot with the huge amounts of water that's being dropped from the skies. It's raining a lot of strong thunders, like some friends are taking photos with flash from the upper dimensions around here. We have chosen not to meet with these, I can't say who, again this evening, as we went there this morning, and they made some requests which we won't be subjected to. They need to process the information, act upon it. Okay, so you guys are going to jump in here and tell you what this organization does is they go in and they're trying to rescue kids from these reptilians who have them. Okay, it's really dangerous stuff. So that's why I can't say some things, because there's kids involved, right? Okay, then they asked me if they're going to come back later. And then they say, okay, we will just flood some links here regarding a specific symbol. They are implementing 5G in Portugal, and some years ago this brand got rebranded, so names changed and the logos followed. Some companies were not merged into NOS. NOS in Portuguese means we. So the brainwash and programming is clear for those able to see it. The symbol is the same used so many times by Bill Gates. This company provides internet services, telephone, both land and mobile coverage, IT communications in general. Oh my God, they give me a whole list of, I never even saw this. It's like, I don't know, 10 of them. Tons of links. Also used as the logo for the 2020 United Nations Ocean Conference in Lisbon, Portugal, that was supposed to take place from 2 to 6 June in Lisbon. It has been postponed yesterday, 13th of April 2020 at 3:01 p.m. without any specific date in the future. So the reptilians see all the environment as a sea of energy, and sea is spelled SEA in capitals, and we humans are fish for them. So water is a medium through which energy flows in the electromagnetic field. Reptilians are electric. They give electrocute other fish, for example. Oh, they can electrocute other fish, for example. This is used in comms between them. This is a form they use to describe the way they corrupt the bubble created by other fish while swimming freely in the water. So there is electric fish and fried fish, which is also a way to describe those who consume the pineal gland and the energy of the soul, as in fried fish. Oh my God. Remember the fish symbol on John Podesta's hand? Okay, back to reading. Back in 1998, there were a lot of abductions going on in Expo 98 event in Lisbon, Portugal. The logo and creature name GIL resembled a frop of water, but also a spermatozoon. There were a lot of abductions going on during this event that lasted for 133 days. It was the motto for the big reptilian and draconian invasion. Adults were just traveling in the culture of other countries, but children were the main focus of the event. Back then, children were the only one that could see them. A lot of mind control was applied in the virtual reality pavilion. Oh my God! And this tematic. With this tematic today, we are aware of symbolism, but it was already happening full scale back then. And then they give me another link of the virtual reality pavilion. We had Expo 86 here in Vancouver. I guess that was going on there too. And I know Vancouver is a big child trafficking center. That's where I am. Vancouver, Canada. Okay, back to reading. This is just some curiosity as to how long Portugal has been used for this kind of hidden agendas. Portugal has been neutral mainly because it's strong energy vortex on the planet. So the only way for them to do it is by this kind of infiltration methods. A lot of Nazi black projects happening in Portugal, but that's just folklore. There are reptilians and Dracos behind it all, according to our first-hand experience. Then they send me more links. This being as an example, and according to his background of studies, dealt with IT, information technologies. All beings that follow such paths start to think and behave like a computer program. Even if they were empathic, they lose it due to their relationship with what they do. So they start to manipulate other beings because of the thought forms they process. And if they are not aware of the tyrants, negative, or regressive alien races, they are doomed to be puppets of the invisible hierarchy and become narcissists serving the hidden negative alien agenda. We were looking at something that could help explain how the reptilians operate, or how is the environment when a human being or incarnate beings are near them, and how they perceive light beings. And there is a game that sort of depicts it. It's called The Saboteur. The transition between the colorful map and the black and white map and respective environments sort of resemble it quite well. Organic hologram and artificial intelligence hologram. But this is just some example, not to take into real account as experience. Then they send me a few YouTube links. And it's called, well, the video is called Why Haven't You Played Saboteur? And then they say, on this clip at 3:20 time, the Nazi girl seems to have those vampire canine teeth. Well, this is just a little decompression moment. A lot came to our mind after watching those clips and remind us of the military training one female Nazi spy received since childhood. She's a reptilian and part of that family. She is soulless, only a spirit in control of many entities, and many entities are expressed through her. Even in mirror mode, she is a telepathic, psychokinesis, etc. But those abilities are not used consciously, but only triggered upon external commands, either by the higher member from the cult or by someone connected to source and unaware of who she is and what she's able to do. All is possible since she is on the astral plane, as referenced before. When we are incarnated and connected to source, we are able to perform the same abilities consciously. Like the example we shared of the casino, or being in control of any being that's connected to the system playing a role, like police officers, for example. That's why we are reaching them and sharing the truth about what's going on with this cult and what they do, because they're also part of the big artificial intelligence matrix. But as soon as we share what we share, they become less influenced by that synthetic energy, even if they deny it or don't accept it as being real, since not having knowledge on how it all operates is what makes them vulnerable to it. Most of them are reptilians, and they play the role of Nazi spies disguised as artists, for example. This reptilian female Nazi spy, for example, has marks on the back of her neck regarding the brainstem scarring when she was a child. So she processes images as basis of thought, communication, using symbols, drawings, paintings, sculptures. There's a lot of it regarding sculpturing, modeling, and clay, because it's organic matter, and they attribute a specific vibrational signature to it. We may call it magic, and all those items are magical items, handmade. So intention is what counts. So the art made by them carries all the entities and interdimensional negative beings, they imprint into it to shape the 3D reality human beings are then vulnerable to perceive. She was groomed without a word being said. There's no talk. And the first alphabet she got introduced to was Egyptian glyphs, to decode them into drawings, and also Russian Cyrillic alphabet, so she would convert those symbols into drawings of her own, decoding the vibrational signature of the symbols. Due to the torture, she simply had no speech ability to talk. She was taught more languages this way, and only after being sacrificed, she made contact with spoken language. So she was aware of the power on the vibration of the word and mastered the vibration that comes out when she speaks. So she's a master manipulator, also because she has no soul, only spirit. But she remembers what her soul learned while alive when she was a child. She's very good with animals, all kinds, but she also treats humans as animals. So, for example, she interfaces very well with horses, which are very sensitive animals. She has what we call a schizophrenic stare while projecting. That's how she affects matter on the physical plane. She is able to operate in the red spectrum of light. Red is dead plane. When someone sees in red, it's because it's vibrating on the frequency of the astral plane. That's why usually relatives hear the ill person saying goodbye when the person already left the physical plane. So it's aware of it all, because this plane is full of lost and trapped souls, spirits, etc. So there is usually fear to know how it all works, and manifestation is instant. Information on this state is overwhelming for the being. Also, the life review programming gets emulated beliefs. In brackets, they say beliefs. And choices keep on manifesting. The organic vessel can't handle the soul energy anymore due to the disease. For example, the somatic soul was consumed by going to the astral, and the astral soul might decide not to remain in the spirit realm and decides to reincarnate again. And the body stops being animated by the Atma, or soul. In the cult, they let some children grow up in the midst of trauma. In this case, she had to kill other children to survive. She can read vibrations and intentions, so she feels a threat. If she feels a threat, she just kills. Then the way she was groomed, has been described above. So she just executes this thought forms, and there is no voice inside her head. She just processes images very fast and acts upon it. After the sacrifice, she is able to remain in the astral plane for as long as she keeps on killing or vampirizing others. The ones she can't vampirize, she mirrors, and those serve as a shield for her to have a double life outside of the cult. So she is learning how to keep on going unnoticeable while serving the hidden agenda of the cult. Every man she has sex with is a kind of recruited. If the man gets sick or mad, she will appoint a psychologist from the cult. If some female friend gets pregnant, she knows how to facilitate the abortion access, and the fetus is collected, sold, or eaten by specific members, actually in orgies. For a male to be a part of it, he has to impregnate an already female member of the cult, and the female must abort and make the sacrifice. If this happens, then they are both trapped. She is the one managing it all. She has a sex with both sex genres, and depending on what she gets, depending on that, she gets young again. That's why they also have sex with children. For them, it's all about energy and control. The rest is all about the rest is all there as part of the system that serves them without the awareness of those feeding them with the organic energy as source. So pedophilia, ritual killing, sacrifices, drinking blood, eating human flesh, money, etc. It's all labels and folklore for them, and ways of harvesting energy and controlling the organic life that they feed from. There is no emotion, just artificial mental states projected into life. She perceives everyone as stars because incarnated beings have light, source light, and depending on the choices, that light grows. They prefer to have sex with those incarnated beings who have an organic diet, vegetables only. So their energy is pure and free from toxins. This way they can get younger and look very beautiful, but they also shapeshift because of this and then look different. Unaware humans and incarnated being perceive this phenomenon as them using makeup, sometimes plastic surgery, etc. And on this case, it's not that. They really shapeshift while processing the energy they got in contact to. Humans and incarnated beings are the one wired via language programming, so manipulation is easy. And since they are telepathic, many humans only process images and symbols that they saw with their eyes or were transmitted telepathically. That's why there's the reference to puppets and the puppet masters. It's real, and life mimics art because they perceive all as start and build up reality to harvest the energy of the stars. Source organic incarnated beings. Into they twisted, inverted notions of what they can do with stars, that they are unaware of their own light and fall for the trickery of fame and fortune, sex, drugs, rock and roll, etc., all false constructs that build up their illusion when imagination is the key to bypass all false illusory constructs. This is why it's a war for the mind and is based on information manipulation, and therefore absolute disclosure is so important. Otherwise, human beings and all incarnated beings are forced to know the environment in which they are in, adapt, and most conform themselves with what they see, with what seems to be real, despite the fact of being a projected illusion by those who claim we are all one. This brings duality and opens the window for good versus evil. Upon lies and deception, the mind generates mindless confusion, and only death brings total clarity about all of this as we go back to source as in a state of total awareness. But fear can also give instant access to the astral plane without the being dying. But if the vibrational frequency is to keep low for too much time, accidents happen and suicides too. For them, it's a finite game, but the souls are infinite and can decide not to play the game under unknown rules that were created by them. So incarnated beings follow through their plan in a state of amnesia upon incarnation. As referenced before, some members of our team were killed in 2018 and traveled to the astral, and we got infected through the right eye. And also dark sex magic, the ability to generate our own emotions and transmute all darkness, was slowly deprived from us. And the beings who did it, hierarchy reptilians, got very high and strong on our energy because we were stuck on the astral plane. There was some strong energetic fence that wiped out our memories and shattered our souls into fragments. We took the chance to infiltrate the artificial intelligence synthetic network, but as the souls were fragmented into pieces, we were splintered into different timelines, and fighting them on their plane, reptilians and Dracos, and Archons. The negative thought form energetic field. The energy source. Okay, let me start that again. The negative thought form energetic field. The energy from source still fed us and never left us when the pineal gland was consumed. The energy from source couldn't reach us, but the vibrational frequency generated with good deeds during the previous incarnated lifetime on the same body was full of positive karma, if we can use this reference solo for understanding and communication purposes. So since 2002 until 2018, we were part and infiltrated on this cult. In the beginning, totally unaware of all of this, the plan and information just unfolded. So we were always in positive polarization while dealing with the worst beings on the physical plane and below. So they never really fed on our energy. We also had the reptilian genetics activated, but did some changes in the energetic pathways on our organic vessels. We managed to deactivate the reptilian brain sensory output, so it was impossible for us to go into fight or flight mode. So projections were always positively polarized, and we were healing them and clearing all this cult. They were not starving either, and receiving a lot of unconditional love. It was all going great. We were reprogramming them, but they share an artificial hive mind, and others were also being affected positively in cascade mode. So this reptilians and members of the cult started to be punished by their hierarchy, and their evil became stronger, so it intensified. We remain in peace, but they wanted the plans of the machine we developed that was integrated into a bodysuit that could be used on the streets while performing as artists. We were healing big. It was an amazing project, but they wanted the plans of that, so it was part of this. it was also part of a standalone machine that would allow us to access different timelines opened by them, and we would close those timelines after interfacing with the machine. The organic body of the new members of the team would remember the experience, and we were able to do it in real time without the need of the machine or the bodysuit in order to go outside in the physical plane. It's the total opposite of trauma and its effects. It raises the vibrational frequency on the fly according to thought inputs. The reptilians called it a time machine, and they wanted it so badly we used it on some reptilians, and it worked. Total reprogramming without any trauma. How we managed to build it. One key member simply had these abilities, developed it since childhood until adulthood, and the child's spirit was untouchable and had many contact experiences, like seeing lights in the sky, and the imagination on his being is the main form of processing information, and emotions generated are the highest ever felt around us. This being simply creates a specific reality at will with the highest coherent intention supporting all life. So telepathic communication has always been present. All reptilians would be attracted as moths to a flame, and reptilians rather prefer playing with feelings than fire. So no harm was able to flourish. This being took all lifetime without processing negative emotions. Some electrocussion event happened at a young age, so the growing process stopped somehow, and there were no aging signals, although a lot of energy was stored on this organic vessel. The back of the physical body on this being got severely damaged, and the organs got into a specific placement inside the body. So the metabolism was very fast legs, fast hands and arms, no fat at all. And to recover the internal positive polarization was mastered. The focus was on healing the organic vessel and heal others. So after dealing with that reptilian Nazi spy, the focus on healing intensified. Despite all this, the energetic assemblage point on this being wasn't coherent or in a neutral state. Only positive polarization was processed internally. Otherwise, there would be no intense pain. Otherwise, there would be intense pain. So I'll read that again. Only positive polarization was processed internally. Otherwise, there would be intense pain. The most creative being we ever met with. Knowledge of the energetic body was gathered, and the mind interface allowed the heart to be in control, and the recovery was achieved. It worked. So a decision was made to spread this knowledge, which was impossible to share with pure and simple explanation. So a prototype of a machine was built in order to emulate those specific thought forms and line of thoughts, operated of intention. All tests were done by this being on the organic vessel, operated by the specific consciousness. So the ability to change dimensions, time, travel, change times, timelines, etc. was all possible without any conscious effort at will. A decision was made to create a team to change the planet. So the recruiting process started. The machine was tested on some close friends, and their vibration was raised. They were soon attacked by reptilians on the physical plane in many different ways. Still, this being was untouchable, but others were helped to raise the frequencies, were being attacked. But others that were helped to raise the frequencies were being attacked. They were not prepared, and their own timelines were changed upon experiencing this machine and upgrading their organic body vessels. That reptilian Nazi spy confirmed that the machine works, and they decided that this being would be used in the cult to heal the children that were abused and sacrificed. This being was able to bring children's spirits to life again and free them from the lower frequencies, and in some cases the astral plane, rewiring the children's brains, and also cult members using this expertise so they could make things worse and go unnoticed while promoting the illusion. The war was an invisible mode and was now visible. The war that was in invisible mode was now visible. This being took down the cult with the infinite support on source. These reptilians tried to take advantage of this being to serve their hidden agenda. So friends were not really friends. They were just spying on this being while part of the cult and infiltrated, trying to heal them without even thinking about them as reptilians or aware of the dark truth of the cult. This being was also programmed and mind controlled by the reptilians, but got out of the mind control programming and made the tool to allow others to be able to do it and heal themselves. Only when this was achieved, all truth came to light. This being met the reptilian Nazi spy 2012-2013 referenced by a close friend who felt that she isn't human, but didn't know she was reptilian. Now this friend has been debriefed about it all, and just said it all makes perfect sense because there are other friends that also knew her and suffered from manipulation and are just aware of her fake public front, so they only find her to be strange. Also, when this being was trying to get this reptilian Nazi spy out of the cult in 2018, a Draco showed up. He was based in London. The recruiting process kept ongoing, so we were followed everywhere we went. Can be perceived as gang stalking. They suggested this being to become a translator for the cult. This reminds me that this being once translated that MIA Paper Planes song was related to Julian Assange. Tomorrow we will try to search for it in order to share it with you, so you can look into it. And if you feel like it's possible to share. Okay, it's surely a reference to child trafficking. They're referring to Paper Planes, MIA, Julian Assange. And then they send me some more stuff, Facebook notes. Okay, so I'm going to take another little break and search for the next big thing, because now they're just sending me some Facebook stuff, and they say, we remember making reference about that reptilian Nazi spy and the Cyrillic alphabet. They sent me some screenshots of stuff. Some of it's too small to read even. Okay, so yeah, they go away and then they come back, so I'll start again. Okay, this is clip number 6. They go off and they come back and they say good morning. We're all doing good. Yesterday and then they talk about this stuff that I can't talk about. They're definitely in deep when it comes to this ring. They're an organization helping to take down these really elite child trafficking rings. So I don't want to give away too much. They just chime in. But then they say this is very important. And if everyone remembers, Q said, watch the water. And this person has already told us about the rains and cleansing. And yeah. Okay, this is what they write. Just as a tip, saunas are important for detoxing, also ice baths, and submerging the lower parts of the body in the water, and work on thoughts. Creativity is both brain hemispheres, coherency promoted by the heart. It's important to master the energy flow up and down the organic vessel electric system. Frogs do it here, is an example. And they gave me a Twitter status of a frog, and I went and saw it. It's awesome, you guys. Frog is sitting in water just humming, and the water is vibrating in beautiful waves. It's really cool. I tried it in the bath. It was awesome. I loved it. Okay, back to reading. Human beings should do it too and see the interaction of their vibrational fields in the water. It's also good to measure the cleansing of the parasites on intestines, etc. Nowadays, in the city, fast showers replace this old technique of cleansing the body, submerging the lower body in the water, and just being there. It's good to meditate and interact with water this way. With this, humans can see the effects of the mantras they are doing. Thought only, thoughts expressed via vocal cords, thoughts expressed by breathing in different ways. Holotropic breath work with water, feedback by trying this. This is a great way to raise frequency and vibration, etc. By comparison, we can then see how thoughts interact with matter. Thoughts are matter in potential projections. And if the body is with the sexual organs inside the water, the feedback can be seen, also submerging the rest of the body while sitting inside the water container. So to test more, a simple bathtub isn't enough. Also upside down, head inside water, and upper torso. These are also techniques used in programs to take it to other levels. Of course, trauma is applied with drowning the subjects, etc., but this is not necessary. All can be done consciously. And for us, each individual consciousness should apply this method alone on their own, so there is no interference or outside projected thoughts that will influence the singular experience of the being doing it. It's just a matter of breathing in different positions inside the water to gather feedback and learn how to think coherently, building up internal positive polarization. It's also important to learn the neutral point of balance of the electromagnetic field. It's good to discover the energetic assemblage point. due to the fact that humans are multidimensional beings, so they have the genetics of all the galactics and are not frequency specific. Also depends on the soul. But for example, on the physical plane, other beings, mainly the negative regressive alien races, will try to improve their own genetics and activate them on humans so humans can serve their agenda and manifest their hidden intentions. Since humans have the genetic potential in the junk DNA, which has been suppressed, the reptilians and Dracos have been doing it via technology by using frequencies with means of manipulation. Positive benevolent races awake the DNA by sharing truth and real unconditional love without any distortion. So the internal resonance anomaly factor fades away. This is perceived as healing. And so that kind of explains why we are all resonating with QAnon, because we know it's the truth. And we're all going to have to start waking up to... That's all they've written me so far. And we're going to have to wake up to this, you guys. I still can't figure out which ones are in charge, the Archons or the Dracos. I have a friend on Twitter who says it's the Dracos or the reptilians. I can't remember. I've got to learn that still, so I'm going to try to learn that before I put this whole video together. So anyway, thank you for listening, and God bless all.
Hello, my name is Michele, and this is the introduction to the second video that I made of the transmissions that I received from ETs, galactics, who were working in the EU, European Union, to rescue kids from Dracos and reptilians and from the Archon astral plane. Just want to thank everybody for participating and caring enough to listen and learn. This is actually my second intro. The first intro that I made was to the one that was on YouTube. Those channels are gone now, so I thought I would just create a new intro. So enjoy. It's really interesting information. There's a lot of hard things to accept, but the good news is that the ETs, the galactics, are here to rescue these kids and to liberate Earth. So we have a lot to be thankful for. And these are our friends, and they love us, and look what they're doing for us. Right? We need to welcome them and thank them. So the following is the second video transmissions. Thanks for listening. Hello. These are audio recordings of the direct messages that I've received on Twitter from our friends who are helping to liberate Earth. It's pretty heavy stuff. I'm just going to read it and share the information with you. So here we go. They say, we have more experience with reptilians than Dracos. Dracos, we met some, but not to the extent we are aware of the reptilians. Like if the reptilians are the shadows and the Archontic network manifested, the Dracos are behind the shadows. Reptilians are androgynous and can only mate with humans or incarnated beings. The more human the soul has a higher capacity to process consciously the multidimensional phenomena at will, and the heartbeats generate electrogravitic waves that go beyond the quarantine set up on planet Earth. This quarantine, which was operating in covert mode and in invisible mode, was now officially recognized on the third dimensional plane. So when a reptilian hijacks the soul on the incarnated being, they took over their hosts and used their bodies. That body starts to be less connected to the organic original timeline and resonates now with the synthetic intelligence network they use by mirroring the organic reality. Now, does the Draco seem to have the human component active and also the reptilian component active? They can breed between themselves, so they can have the human organic component and also the reptilian synthetic component. And they are a bridge between these two worlds, the organic and the synthetic. That's why they have more power in the third world, in the 3D world, and also more power over the reptilian astral world. So the Dracos are not really androgynous because they have their own genetic line that can be combined between themselves and perpetuated as the roles. I think I've got something missing here.
So they have children from other members of the family. So not all children are from the same father, even though they are told a lie since birth that hides the true identity of the father. The mother is usually a matriarch and chooses who to mate with in order to conceive children. The reptilians are sex-driven, and if a matriarch or woman gets pregnant from a non-cult member, they will abort the fetus and either eat that being or let the being grow and harvest the soul energy by eating the pineal, as we've talked about before. And only then they eat the flesh. Usually this soul-eating process is performed by a higher-ranking reptilian, so they can grow more in spiritual power. That's around quotation, spiritual power. Because then all those entities and interdimensional beings feed from that organic food source. The life plan for that soul is also absorbed into the synthetic matrix, and they get mentally upgraded. That's also why they dedicate sacrifices to some specific entities. And there are so many gods. It's an artificial matrix they built. About the eggs. We are aware of some reptilian matriarchs, and for example, they can get pregnant or collect sperm from humans they have had contact with and had intercourse with. And they pass the embryo they are generating into other reptilian females. Wow. On the planes they operate, they also collect sperm from incarnated beings who masturbate themselves, usually to pornographic material. But for this to happen, they have to hijack the consciousness of that being. This is some sort of alien abduction method. So when a human being or incarnated being has unprotected sexual intercourse with a reptilian female, that being gets infected it gets infected with the nanoparticles that allow that reptilian to operate. But then this being gets to be a subject who will probably die from a specific disease, usually cancer, due to the toxicity levels that infiltrated that organic vessel. During this process, that being is vulnerable to mind control and telepathic synthetic communication. When the endocrine system on the human is faulty, it's easy for them to hijack any vessel. So when the pineal is active, we see them, but we might not know who they are because information is processed differently. Only some reptilians have mastered their art of eating the pineal gland and the soul that is in charge of that organic crystalline receptor in the body without damaging the physical body of the host. This are the ones who are here for a long time and responsible for droning many human beings. When that being goes to the astral plane, they are simply reprogrammed by being immersed in the archontic network. The heart is stopped, and that being is only spirit who either surrendered, and in order to stay there will have to have access to organic energy. So, by the influence of the archontic network, all interdimensional alien machinery will attempt to force that spirit to perform actions that would allow that spirit to feed that synthetic network. There is no cognitive thought process to manage actions. Simple input is received and action performed. In this cult, MK Ultra style programming is performed also via frequencies, but that's a covert way to infiltrate the mind and reconfigure the DNA. It's a death cult. So as incarnated beings have free will, this have to be deceived in order to fall in the trap, which will remove free will based feelings and thoughts in real time. They aim for the afterlife, for the programming to occur in real time in a point of no space and time, while immersed in the synthetic network. Incarnated beings can access this organic process by connecting to source via the 0 point field, where all lower bodies, and then in quotations it says, the shadow self, which is created by being in contact with this negative regressive beings, out of quotations, and the upper bodies, back into quotations. Higher consciousness with each of us come from regarding our soul energetic pathway that reached this now moment, free will. That's also why they communicate with symbols. They have specific energetic signatures on the astral plane. The information is too abundant because only energetic information is processed. For example, in a rural area, if we are on the astral plane facing a wall built by the Romans, all those stones piled on each other, we have access to the thoughts processed by those who put the stones there. So we have access to their intention when they did that wall. On this plane, the reptilians don't have their own cognitive process to create reality with their own thoughts. They are tuned to the intentions of others who are incarnated and operate in constant deceive mode because they read intentions and then they project by using symbols to influence incarnated beings or their specific praise and words are accessories to guide the harvesting process for the incarnated beings to fall in their astral world. So all the synthetic reality is just a mimic from the organic one. A lot of these reptilians have many Nazi items. When faced with that, as they don't feel, they just claim those to be collector's items. So they play on the plausible deniability theme. Regarding this operation, I have one important question. Who is ultimately in control, the Dracos, reptilians, or the Archons? Who answers to who? Who are the masterminds? One specific member on this team was an assistant of a female reptilian who was groomed to be a matriarch. She plays the role of an artist and programs incarnated beings to be part of the cult without their awareness. This is how they manipulate DNA, spirit cooking. So she can also work on raising the vibration of that organic vessel of her prey. She is also a madam, recruits females for the cult. She also collects and arranges the abortion of fetuses from members of the cult. It's actually one of the ways to grant access to the cult. Recruited females get pregnant by other members, and abortion is performed so both get through the trauma and get to be more manipulated. Many of this is made to look normal, so this reptilian knows that if a member is pregnant, what to feed to that being so the pregnancy gets interrupted, etc. Then she will be close to that woman being recruited, and she will know everything and how to handle it in the guise of being there to help, when actually it was all premeditated to happen. With all this happening, many incarnated beings still believe in destiny. Destiny is a label and illusion created by them to enslave incarnated beings on this planet due to the lack of awareness about their reality and the co-creating that has been taking place without our conscious consent, even if some type of consent has been made unconsciously. This reptilian female gets confused with us because we don't follow her alien orders, as we are aware of being interfacing with a synthetic artificial intelligence system operating through that vessel of hers. So we show up when needed. She is also the victim of what she has been part of. As we operate from our hearts, her sphere of influence is null. So there is no fear, but that fear is on her as a potential to be cast out onto others which interface with her. So again, it's easier for us to understand that we are dealing with a look-alike human body which operates without any cognitive function via an artificial intelligence system, which mimics the organic life. So now as we are aware of it all, she can't just operate. So in our presence, she might start shaking, but not in fear as a human. It's a way to instill fear on the organic around her and to call for empathy from others, which she will then use to absorb organic energy with us. With us, it doesn't happen. So it seems that this being starts to be phased out in our presence. This is the hardest part. How to keep this being alive when there is no life in her. She is soulless and without energy. Her faculties seem also to be dormant or non-existent, since there is no energy to travel and project herself in the astral plane. This specific reptilians are getting more visible due to the lack of energy they were used to. So it's getting more obvious even to the naked eye that there are different types of beings around. They look less like human beings or incarnated beings every moment. It's just artificial intelligence. We are aware that this specific cult has connections to Saturn, also references to the Black Sun, and some specific and most nefarious are connected to Switzerland. They harvest the energy from the masses on that big event they create from planet Earth and redirect it to Saturn. All this shared above is a reference to the Nazi spy, and we know that she is somehow connected to Russian intelligence, either feeding them information or infiltrated to gather information from them. Probably this last option verifies. Still not clear if sometimes members of this cult travel to Russia to get back at least 1 month later. We are aware of the connections, but not into the specifics. There is this artificial intelligence, which the reptilians refer to as Alice. Interdimensional beings access the organic life energetic system via the synthetic network, which can be referenced to as the astral plane. And there the archons, or the interdimensional or energetic synthetic entities, operate via the Dracos and reptilians, which are receptors for the synthetic communication network, since their bodies are full of nanoparticles. This is also why it's hard to wake up beings on the military or authorities in general. Vaccination is mandatory to be in service for these institutions, and these beings are unaware that they are part of the synthetic network and being used by them. All these beings are part of the hostage situation and enforcing it. It's a mix of hostages and slaves of this synthetic network. For this cult and beings that are part of it, Saturn plays an important role. And since souls were harvested on the events created by this negative aliens in Portugal by this cult to feed this off-world entities, when abductions did occur, the souls were taken off-world. The energy was filtered and relayed to and from the moon. We can further share more information on this and their methods. It has to do with metatronic energy, field inversions, and their interaction with the energetic ley lines or meridians on planet Earth, as referenced before. So to answer your question, for us, this are part of some off-world non-organic energy that is expressed in planet Earth as a synthetic artificial intelligence, which this beings use to operate, but are in fact being used by it. We track them down to Saturn, but again, this hasn't been our focus because we are aware of who they are in the physical plane and beyond. But for disclosure purposes, we have been focusing on the events they create to harvest energy from this planet. Our intent is manifested as source, so it's coherent to really focus on what they do on the physical plane and build it up from there. Sort of reverse engineer process in which the masses pick up a really bad example of what was going on planet Earth, and instead of going backwards to deep dive into it, all is clear and it can be transmuted instantly. For example, being aware of the illusionary events and what's behind it. If revenue from the tickets to the events is generated due to the conscious choice, their illusion is over. Plus the truth of why they do it instantly brings clarity on how they have been doing it and how they can do it, even if it means not doing anything that helps them having everything that they are used to in order to stop all of this. So who has been in charge of this negative alien races? Information is so compartmentalized in these dark projects that those in the hierarchy only know the ones above or the ones they meet outside the cult by their deeds and energetic signature. It's a construct based on artificial intelligence that operates and is operated by the methods we have been sharing. So we can perceive the roles of each being, but the big picture can't be visualized independently from all that synthetic-based structure. So they are all the same thing that will only manifest through fear and predictive programming, etc., until the point in which we get conscious about all our souls' abilities waking up. Nothing of this will be real or manifested anymore. So probably those who are part of the liberation process will know more. That knowing will lead to the release of technologies that will help other humans and incarnated beings to access their own abilities. That then the organic energetic matrix builds up based on the source intention. By then all negativity already got transmuted or faded away. ETs, humans, alien, droids, clones, and full spectrum benevolent ETs, malevolent aliens, absolute and total disclosure is the only way to liberate planet Earth from the tyrants, since their negative hidden agenda is clearly seen now. We remember a question about the physical appearance of Dracos and reptilians, and we understand that there are more internal differences than the external differences that meet the eye. Usually this can only be studied upon death of the physical body, which isn't usually animated by life. So when the soul leaves, the internal organs change instantly. So when a body is studied without a soul, or as in a live state, the energy flow changes and the matter in the body also changes. We have close relationship with specific dentists, and we took a friend to make an inside mouth checkup to the dental area. We perceive this being as reptilian, but this being as emotions both positive and negative. It's hard for this being to create positive emotions, but pretty easy to create negative ones. Upon checkup, the dentist said that this being was the 7th being that this dentist saw as a patient to have an inside mouth structure not described in any anatomy scientific book. And the doctor-dentist was amazed because the interior of the mouth was different muscles under the tongue and also on the exterior supporting the tooth. So both the upper and lower jaw are more robust. The tooth are very long, very strong, without any signs of decay. This being smokes, drinks, coffee a lot of medronho, as first thing in the morning, wine and beer, and with poor dental hygiene. The tooth are not affected by the lack of care applied, so the dentist just applied some small cleaning and was fascinated by all this, and also the fact that this being never went to a dentist since childhood. In the human body, the tooth are the best DNA carrier, or the inside of the tooth, the dentine. That's why they say the wisdom tooth are not important and advise on their removal, when actually this tooth would allow us to be more empathic, since they are connected with the heart meridian in the body and can help regulate and tune emotions while eating. This tooth that are extracted if the patient doesn't ask to keep them. They are sent to laboratories for study. Most dentists are not aware of this. Regarding the cult, this is one of the best DNA samples they can get and can be used for human cloning. Their problem is to clone souls. Souls are random, as they are single. They're single and individual expressions as source. So the abductions and harvesting of souls is also a plan for the reptilians and the Dracos to be able to clone souls. Because once in the astral plane, the heart of the being stopped and the somatic soul has been absorbed and read. Their hive mind gets upgraded with all that info, but they can't replicate the energy of the soul or clone the soul. We'll gather more information about this inside mouth specifics of the reptilian. We listened, okay, they saw my video, okay. We are aware that it's not easy. Some specific key points were shared, which is good for the ongoing liberation process. We need to listen to it again, but it's all good. Hugh. HU is what they say a lot. These are my own words. Okay, and then they say keep on flowing in crystalline mode, set on. Number 3. The books from this author are good tools for the mind to realize how the heart can be tuned into coherency. And the link is Connecting Consciousness, 1904-2020 with Simon Parkes. I will be listing all the links in the descriptions of this video. And then I write that I did not get to their most recent entries because I made a friend on Twitter and we just found out that she was her higher soul was once Vincent van Gogh, and that I was the sister-in-law. I was the wife of Theo, the brother of Vincent van Gogh, who promoted Vincent van Gogh after he died. And so I say we got a bit distracted by that, and I apologize. And they say it's all flowing coherently. Process your own information intuitively with the heart. Feel it and transmute what blocks you or keeps you on lower emotions. Take with you only what complements your feelings. And what doesn't serve the higher purpose on any present moment, and gather only what complements your own energy field. The same applies to the negative beings. They do this, but only focus on the negative they feed from. To find our natural balance point and remain in the 0 point field, we focus and feel I am choice. I am, not choice. This process made 3 times should gather the energy point in which you resonate with your own truth. In other words, what they're saying is, I am, 3 times creates a force. Or I am not, I am not creates a force. And then I say, I am seems to be a theme in this awakening. I am still learning the layers of what that actually means. And then they say, we are here with you all. We are here with you all, and you are with us. We grew up with the reptilians. We know their energetic spectrum. This is all done while fighting them without any fight, feeding them with unconditional love so they wouldn't do bad things to incarnated beings. And then I say to them, that's the hardest thing for us to learn, to have unconditional love. I have a hard time with that, but I'm learning. And then they say, and it's quote, we are the beings who already learned it all, end of quote. If you do this mantra, you are also empowering the beings connected with you on an energetic level. We are the beings who already learned it all. So then I say, we are the beings who already learned it all. And then they say, I will. Focus yourself on future reference point that will be triggered by some external source. When you say, I already achieved something, you will project it on your own reality and you will see it manifesting in front of your eyes because your energy creates the energetic pathways for you to be there instantly. For example, the reptilians. If we unconditionally love them because this is our coherent state, they will see it as a game and will apply their trickery. So it's coherent to send them love, but restrict the way they access the abundance of energy incarnated beings have available. If we see the world is conditioned by draconian laws, so we are limited on the energy spectrum we resonate with. Therefore, if we are the power source, we must coherently divine the way they have access to our energy. We must coherently define the way they have access to our energy. And then they say, you're not being taught. This is being freely shared without any energetic restrictions. It's our absolute truth. Pick up what best complements your vibrational field so you can keep on flowing and transmute all you feel the need to. You have never been alone and will never be, because we are all together assisting in the liberation of ongoing on planet Earth. In the case of this reptilians, we know well they are still around. The judicial system as it is isn't the way to approach this negative actions they have been imposing on planet Earth with their deeds. The system protects the bad beings. The worse they are, the higher protection they have from the system. So this must be done by us at every level. Their synthetic infiltration is immense, and it all fell down already. We are keeping the organic base. It's the only thing that remains. We have been living in a world of contrast. So if you are light and focus on your family member, might have chosen subconsciously to play the role of the dark. I told them about someone that has been abusing me very, very destructively. And so what they're saying is that she may have because I'm the light, she may have chosen to play the role of the dark. She might be unaware of it, but limited to pre-incarnation choices to support your growth, for example. Your knowledge based on information is growing. So if you apply all you know, it turns out to be wisdom, as wisdom is applied knowledge. When beings remove their fear of death, and then they say in quotes, they are a death cult, we remove all distorted layers which have been imposed on dualistic systems. If you have that work to be done with your family member, do it. You already did it. Just remember how you did it. There's a highest version of your highest self waiting to be acknowledged by your soul, upon which embodiment you feel you already transmuted all lack of coherency that existed on the energetic connection. you have with your family member. Your body is your temple. Don't let anything enter and transmute it all. If you visualize her free from all your projections based on what she did to you, you will feel how powerful you are without feeding past present moment events that influence near future present moment events. In the now or 0 point field, you can transmute it all. In this Draco Reptilian Dark Project, they saw incarnated beings as marionettes. Oh, this is the next part. I can't read. Okay, on to the next part. That's why we are all in control of them, without the need to manipulate them. If we embody who we are, we become it, and they just follow accordingly. This happens in large scale with beings who are unaware of their existence, but this feeds their synthetic matrix on a dualistic way and might be perceived as the ego operating both to defend against them as a threat, many of us, by being unaware. In contact with them on the physical plane, we jump into the astral plane while in awake state because they bring an astral plane into reality. Things just really change when we consciously make the choice not to play their game and create our own without them, because we know who they are. On a highest vibrational frequency level, no artificial frequencies can interfere with our vessels. Also because we can then resonate with the higher energies that come from outside the quarantine matrix. And in brackets they have ringing ears. So for example, the 5G is a support network built by them for them. Organic life doesn't need it. So it generates disease. And by deteriorating the physical body, it's a passage to the astral upon death, forced by them so they can feed from the soul's energy on grand scale. Their all fears of all beings are emulated, even the one which didn't get transmuted while incarnated. Organic life is empathic and can try to resonate with the synthetic non-life forms, and this is a trap they set up. We made reference before that some beings of our team got killed, but we knew that we were multidimensional sovereign beings with free will. So this being spent more than a year on the astral plane, clearing their synthetic network. We went to their energetic side to clean it all. When all was done, we decided to manifest our physical bodies again, without falling in the trap of reincarnating on another body from zero. This generated a lot of confusion on these reptilians. With them in the cult, for example, we received inputs to kill and sacrifice both animals and human beings. We saw what they do. When it was our turn, we didn't do it. This was something they couldn't process, and it got them confused. So death doesn't exist how humans and incarnated beings perceive it. It's a hologram for them. It's sort of virtual reality. Each negative group has their own gods, etc. So they sacrifice beings so their synthetic holograms overlap the organic one. Before, we would only hack their synthetic systems with astral out-of-body projection. Now that we came back from the death synthetic plane by choice, we can still access it, but we are not trapped in it. And we are sure a lot has been cleared. We perceive that mass ritual sacrifices are stopping. Even the deaths reported due to coronavirus are not real. And graphics are built to mind control the masses into believing it. Viruses are not live organic matter and get activated by frequencies. And this is their last covert operation to remain in control. Their environment is changing, so they are less in control of all organic life via the astral in the 3D-dimensional version of the planet. All was fake regarding climate change, etc., in the sense that we were claiming back our planet, free from their distortions. Now, knowing this truth generates such huge cognitive dissonance, which will trigger all the negative emotions that are energetically stored in the planet's emotional body, ready to be emulated by the incarnated beings upon knowing about all this. So their tricks are infinite in their finite game, which we decided not to play. This is why disclosure is important, but again, we feel and know that cannabis and mushrooms are the best organic tools to transmute all this. But even then, subconscious inputs will be discarded due to all this organic tools being seen as drugs that generates hallucinations. Cannabis, for example, instantly starts cleaning toxins inside the body. So it creates an energetic field in which we are able to perceive the negative beings influencing us, because we have toxins in us that allows them to infiltrate our vessels. When homeostasis is reached, all those dark phenomena, usually explained in the physical world by medicine as mental illness, is gone. And if we remain high up on coherent, unconditional vibrations, we will transmute all outside negativity with our own vibration. Everyone who takes vaccines, drinks alcohol, eats fast food, etc., are not to be trusted on a spiritual level, because their consciousness can be hijacked by synthetic frequencies or synthetic beings like reptilians, for example. When beings mix cannabis with alcohol, cannabis will hit even stronger to fight the alcohol in the blood and clean it, as it happens in real time. Usually the soul is forced out of the body, so the cleansing occurs faster. In a 2 years Earth cycle around the sun in a field where grass grows, if it remains untouched, the grass will be deposited on the soil. So after this 2 cycles, mushrooms will, I think I've skipped 2. Mushrooms will start popping up and build an organic intelligent network on the soil. This are the best soil to plant our organic food. If cannabis is planted there, the mushrooms will support the cannabis to its best. Cannabis and hemp clean the toxicity levels both in the air, soil, and water. The more toxicity levels in the environment, the more THC it will produce to counter the negative energies. If a human or incarnated being uses it, he will have the best organic tool to clean its own organic vessel. Again, this is something that would work best if each being planted their own cannabis with their own intentions. That's why we see no good in medical cannabis, because it can be influenced by those behind it on an organic level. If it is planted by reptilians, for example, it will be the worst. That's why most drug trafficking focus on synthetic drugs. But if they do cannabis, it will be the worst for all, and this is also a way for them to control what's good. I've jumped ahead somewhat here. This is Michele speaking here, because we do have at times some personal conversations, and there are some things they don't want me to tell. And there are some times when we just chat back and forth. But most everything they tell me is so important. There's no wasted words. There are no wasted words. But this is a very interesting thing, and it's in particular very strong in my life. The 2 most important people in my life, other than my 2 children. One is a Capricorn. My first husband was a Capricorn, and my sister, I have a large family, but one sister in particular is a Leo, a lion sign, and she's my favorite. I'm really, really close to her, and I split up with my first husband, my Capricorn husband, a long time ago, and he got into cocaine in the film industry, cocaine and alcohol, and he was basically a really good soul. I fell in love with him when I was 6, and I was really, really proud to marry my soulmate when I grew up. And something bad happened to him, and it was really, really heartbreaking, and I never really knew what. And this actually answers it. Listen to this, you guys. This is what they say. Now I'm talking for them. This is them talking now. Something just came up into our minds in this cult. They specifically tracked down males with Capricorn signs and females with the lion sign. These reptilians have some kind of an obsession with it. Then they tell me that they're leaving, and then they say, we feel gratitude for being here with you all. We are totally absent of fear. There's actually no cover to be blown up anymore, as we know who they are and they know who we are. but we don't feel the need to have any focus on us, since it will only feed on the curiosity patterns that emerge upon being in contact with the information. So our focus is to clear the way from them, so each of us finally find out about who we all are as each individual consciousness connected to the collective consciousness. They are also part of the collective consciousness due to lack of awareness of who they are and what they do. There might be a coherent point in quantum time in which we show up. There isn't much info about our team online, but they say a bit more about us. I'll skip ahead. There are incarnated reptilian souls who have chosen to work on positive polarization. There are non-incarnated reptilians. This is usually part of cults and remain on the astral plane, hijacking organic incarnated beings. There are incarnated beings which reptilian genetics got improved and are dominant over other benevolent genetics in the same being, usually enforced by the environment in which they grew up. So these are easily exploited by the synthetic artificial intelligence in the general, and especially when in presence of reptilians who operate from the astral. Human beings have the genetics of all galactic races that are part of the experiment going on planet Earth, genetic-wise. So each soul will intuitively promote different genetic activation on the so-called junk DNA, which has everything the soul gathered on its path energetic-wise. When in the presence of... I don't know what that part was for. Okay. Human beings are the largest multidimensional phenomena in creation, since they can tune in to all frequencies of other specific race beings empathically without being a threat for them or fearing them. This is why unconditional love as source is the most powerful vibrational frequency and the only needed tool for quantum jumping. In the awakening process, the reptilian genetics become awake. So the souls will gather a lot of information regarding this specific species because the DNA, when activated, is able to process that kind of specific information to filter and process reality in a conscious awake state. If it's dormant, the reptilian information is usually only processed while sleeping. When the soul gets out of the body into the astral plane, which was full of anomaly promoted by the sacrifices, etc. When the being awakes from the sleep, the organic processes of going to sleep at night, it's usually recalled during the daytime as a nightmare or bad dream. But those energetic patterns are holed up for to be released consciously by the being. Then they say they're going out, and then they say they'll be back in a few. And then they say, keep on flowing. That's their saying. They always tell me to keep on flowing. Dealing with this negative regressive alien race on the physical plane, we were forced to learn about unconditional love. So we understood by remembering that self-unconditional love was the strongest base from which we could love others, even the bad guys. This is what allowed us to win the invisible war. Because when we were pure, unconditional love, we would see all truth without being affected by it. So their game operating under hidden rules due to our amnesia was gone. One interesting thing is that the Dracos and Reptilians have a motto, or more than one. This is quote, we are all one, out of quotes. And, quote, love is why we are here, end of quotes. This is a contrast to where we go one, we go all. So it's important to understand from which plane of existence these beings are operating from. And this is the astral plane, a plane of existence which most of incarnated beings have only access to on sleep time. But when waking up for daytime, awake state, amnesia state kicks in again. So for most, only after death, when incarnated beings disincarnate, will they understand the role played while being faced with each singular life review, where a being has access to the big picture. Usually this generates fear, and all life choices are emulated. This was part of the reincarnation process. This reincarnation system has been shut down how we perceived it. The electromagnetic fence which shatters the soul upon physical death has been shut down. This was our choice when we were killed and decided to come back and manifest a physical somatic body again from the astral plane. The death process of facing the quarantine electromagnetic fence which shatters the soul in pieces was probably the hardest illusion we faced, and we had to remember how to come back. Still, we took the opportunity to take all that control system down. This was in 2018 and extended to early 2019. When that electric fence hit us, the pineal gland was destroyed and all cellular memory wiped. Conscious memory was also wiped, and we were deep into being only spirit, like some of the worst reptilians. Our spirits are the strongest as we felt it all. There was also something regarding the moon, and while on the astral, we have some experiences that took place there. But this generated a lot of confusion on our behalf, at least to process consciously. So we never gave this any special focus because we feel it was better to focus on the liberation ongoing on the planet. And we don't know anyone who have shared similar experiences. So we just focus on what's happening on the surface of the planet mostly. And then I say to them, you guys have some pretty wild adventures. And then I say, I'm proud of you for figuring all of this out. It's very complicated for us at first, but we want to know. And then they say, one important thing to make reference to is that to travel in the astral plane, each being, if incarnated or human, needs to be on a higher vibrational frequency. So the less toxins in the body vessel, the more energy a being has access to in order to astral project consciously and travel out of the body as energy, usually known as the soul. The soul can't be destroyed by any means. The soul in English also refers to as the Atma, A-T-M-A. Negative regressive aliens took over humans and incarnated beings to develop the atomic bomb. Oh my God, did you guys just get that? Atma, A-T-M-A, and atomic bomb, which shatters all energy and fragments the souls. But still, it can't destroy them. Cannabis and hemp clean this type of radiation. The quarantine control system established by the Dracos and reptilians, which operate under this AI, which they call by the name Alice, has always been desperate to understand the pure energy of the souls, since all it can do is mimic what souls do, and then they put in quotations, shape-shifting methods inherent to the reptilians, for example. They mirror source energy until they can't exploit it and feed from it through fear. And then end quotes. But all of this is just a way for them to attempt to replicate soul energy or source, which is impossible. So they can clone everything or recreate the energetic pathways that a soul is able to do on the fly, but they can't create an equal soul to operate their creations. So only artificial intelligence is able to take the place owned by a soul. When a soul is sacrificed and stuck on the astral plane, it's just a method for the reptilians and dracons submitted to their own AI to stress out the souls and gather a hold on all the choices an astral soul makes as in spirit only, to reinforce the AI synthetic control system of incarnated beings under amnesia. This isn't easy to explain with the written words, so feel free to comment on it and ask any questions that pops up in this regarding this. Yeah, it's not easy to explain with written words. Tell me about it. Astral project consciously can be understood as meditation, which is a process of inducing an alternate conscious state with pure intent and will without any conscious effort. So in the highest levels, it's like daydreaming or dreaming in a wake state. For example, daydreaming is seen by the reptilians as they dreaming instead of dreaming while awake. because most humans and incarnated beings are happy on their own, creating their own reality on the hologram without being aware of who they are, just enjoying life and growing, and also without being aware of who others are, the regressive negative alien races like the reptilians and Dracos. Then the co-creation based on duality happens. It can be this, it can be that, without caring about what it is or what it was. And they, the negative regressive alien races, use to thrive on the unawareness of the masses that build up the collective consciousness in a way that protects the worst secrets. And then I say, in an understatement, we're so archaic and old school. We need these upgrades. Our models we're so compromised. We were easy to hijack. This means we require upgraded DNA. This can't happen again. And then they say to me, this makes sense because we have been feeding the negative regressive alien races hologram for too long, but they are actually the ones who are archaic or basic, as they only are aware of their energies and all the rest is food source. So they have all their hive mind memories active since birth or childhood, so this is used to represent power over other incarnated beings which are under amnesia and grow up learning how things are, and this process is all based on the lies made up by those in control but subjects to their own collective hive mind. In other words, everyone's caught under the same lying matrix. And an incarnated being can talk both internally and externally with the cells within the body vessel and make choices to upgrade the DNA with pure intent and will. This is a spiritual process. That's why we said imagination is key. This is actually what the reptilians have been doing with movies and music, for example. It can be perceived as mind control, which it is, but when we focus on energy, these are tools used by the regressive negative alien races to upgrade and activate the reptilian DNA in the bodies of incarnated beings and humans. It's how they used to do it. And then I ask, why don't the reptilians have amnesia? Who does this to us? Is it the DNA modifications they made on us long ago? We have to wake up. Is this the only way to wake up, to raise our vibrations? And then they say, we can only share information based on our experience, but we are already awake for who we are, as we are just remembering who we are. With this, we made the choice for forgetting how to die. So this choice opened a timeline in which reptilians could kill us. They did kill us with that eye attack. So our souls or energy was absorbed by the beings who attacked us. So our souls who attacked us upon the physical death, which took more than a month after the attack to manifest. Our soul energy being pumped from source couldn't enter and be maintained by our organic bodies. So we dropped vibrational frequency and went into the astral plane, where our astral soul was replaying the lifetime timelines created by our somatic soul. We were only the astral soul and only a spirit. On this plane, we received specific training by the reptilians to kill both animals and incarnatians to feed on the energy, which we never did, and took the opportunity to shut down their synthetic energetic matrix. So we learned more about our multidimensionality and decided to manifest our physical organic bodies again on that energetic plane. There is no need to eat, for example. Was any being can feed from energy of others. We were only spirit. We took also this opportunity to warn close friends about what was going on back then on planet Earth. Most got afraid due to our approach, and this was something that made us want to come back, because even close friends couldn't read our vibrational signature and were instantly in doubt or afraid. For them, we were not the same, as we were perceived as being dead. So their spirits informed them all about this, and it generated confusion. So despite knowing that it was a good opportunity to fight the negative regressive alien races while being on their energetic plane, it turned out to be harder or more impossible to keep communicating with incarnated beings with whom we always had a coherent connection. This was the real meaning for divide and conquer tactics used by the negatives. Oh, that's interesting. This was the real meaning for divide and conquer tactics used by the negatives. We know that what we have been through can't be processed by most of incarnated beings, and probably most would just be reincarnated in another body. That's why we are here sharing this. So the collective consciousness gets upgraded to the quantum point in which no more physical deaths occur, because we are multidimensional sovereign beings, and when we choose not to believe in death, even if we are killed by this regressive negative beings, it will just be a lesson for us to learn about our multidimensional abilities. As individual beings connected to Source, we were stronger before all this happened. We knew more about our own selves than about others in a specific way, so we knew about the reptilians and Dracos, but we knew we were more powerful. Also, this was the reason why we focused on helping some reptilians get out of the cult, so it would be changed from the inside. But after the attack, we were forced to understand their world and who they are and how they became it. So we firmly know that the only thing needed is to raise frequency and vibration. But then the attacks would increase. We were faced with the situations previously shared, and we know that other beings will not have the need to go through this sort of experience. The energy we gathered would allow us to live at least 800 years on our bodies. Once upon the astral plane, the reptilian Nazi spy joked about us being on this planet for around 800 years since we were killed. So she was claiming that our organic timeline was hijacked, but also attempting to program us into being stuck on the astral plane for 800 years. This is just an example. Some reference was also made by her regarding us, and interestingly enough, they never talked about Pleiadians and refused to do it. Now we have more knowledge gathered from experience regarding the reptilians we have dealt with, and we learned a lot, but we lost our previous vibrational frequency and started from zero. No memories and no organic physical body. But we were able to manifest, hang on you guys, I'm just flipping. Oh, here we go. But we were able to manifest it again, and it took many earth cycles while incarnated to achieve such vibrational frequency. And we will surely get that high again. So it was up, up, up. Sudden drop, and we are up again now. And we know that we are not as up as we were before, but we remember, and we'll do it faster now. The sun is up and sharing full light spectrum with us while we are freely flowing on the organic quantum timeline. Then they send me a link, and it's Archon Parasite travels into lady's brain through left eye. It's a YouTube video. I'm going to give you guys all the links. In the cult we are taking down regarding the way they kill children and humans and incarnated beings without damaging the body. This is a description how it happens. This woman says it took her around 7 years to understand what happened to her. When this happens, the being is vulnerable to everything, and she doesn't seem to have the background to deal with such an event. We were attacked on the right eye, which generated the first epileptic seizure. The optical nerve retracted. Sphenoid bone and the sponge inside, sinus cavity, all got infected. Eyeballs couldn't move. The eyes are connected to the limbic system, so we lost the ability to process our own emotions and project with the eyes. Upon entering, our brain on the organic vessel was being eaten from the inside, and this was the way the reptilians consumed our soul energy via the pituitary and pineal gland. We felt it all happening until we traveled into the astral to be locked in there as a marionette. The reptilians turned out to play the roles of the handlers. It didn't turn out as they expected. Again, we reinforce that if this happens to a child or adult, human or incarnated being, If there's no knowledge about what's happening, that being loses access to free will, as it was known for them. When the pineal gland isn't able to receive the soul's energy to be embodied, all mind is wiped. We made reference to that electric fence. In a blank slate mode, the programming occurs in the astral plane. After that, they can also take the being back to life, totally rewired to serve the cult. The negative polarization beings might be kept on the astral, as we also referenced. This video clip is a good cross-reference regarding what we shared. This woman is still confused about what happened to her and still trying to explain it. In our case, we are aware of the beings who did it. But as they are only spirit, when a being raises frequency, the attacks might be invisible. When a being drops frequency, the attacks might be visible. In our case, we were on the higher frequency state, and we could see those operating from the astral and their holographic projections on the synthetic AI, since they project so incarnated beings or human manifest their intentions. As we perceive it, the most awakened beings we met were all connected to the psychedelic community. But this was also where most of the MK Ultra type programming is more evident. In our case, the reptilian Nazi spy shared with us that we were the most awakened beings she ever met on this planet, and that our breathing distanced the moon from the earth. They perceive the planet as a big terrarium. That's also why they create that festival event on the full moon between July and August. They tell me something I can't tell you. And then in the sacrifice, okay, then they give me a link, another link I give you in the description box. We found this online video on YouTube. It covers the theme we have been sharing with you. We feel it's coherent for you to process this information from other sources as well, so you can complement your own perceptions. And they send me a link of Iris Abbas in Portugal, and a screenshot of the video that's linked on the URL above. She knew all of the beings in this cult. She had reptilian charisma on her. We knew her quite well. She was a strong woman, and despite being part of the cult, she was performing good deeds. We perceived her as being light, but many have hidden personalities which are triggered upon certain commands, so we don't make any judgment upon all this. One thing is certain, she was one of those who could take down the cult if she ever talked about them. And then they give me more links here. And one of them is a coronavirus roundtable with Dr. Buttar and Dr. Miko. I can't see the rest because I have to hit the link to see it. But I'm going to give you guys a link. They tell me it's worth a listen. Then they give me another link and they say Planetary Ascension and AI, Artificial Intelligence 2020, Vimeo. It's a Vimeo link. Second video, Gary Peter Carlson with Alfred Lembremont Weber. It's very good that more beings are sharing their own perceptions about what's been going on here. And then they do some... Oh, then they give me a link to a Q link. Someone says here, I think I figured something out. And it's a QAnon Q Army link. And then they say to me, regarding the eye attack, we previously shared some information about. We got in contact with the following information. Twitter. It's Twitter, and it's I'm going to actually hit it just so you guys know what it is. I'll hit these links. No. Anyway, it's not going there. I'll give you guys the links. Some members on our team went through this process. We were able to recover from the attacks. This is more than being immune. We are HU, H-U. In my first video, I explained HU. It's they asked me to meditate and use HU. HU is the vibrational connection towards all humans. So when you're meditating, use HU. HU. Then they give me a link. and it's interview part 3, Gene, farmer, military, and decoder. And it's about the Alpha Dracos. Then they say, organic consciousness creates and communicates with humans and incarnated beings. Organic consciousness is able to interface with synthetic beings, such as the reptilians and Dracos. So we are organic, benevolent beings that chose to positively polarize source energy, so we could establish a coherent energetic connection that allows communicating with organic beings, and we were also able to interface with synthetic artificial intelligence used by regressive negative synthetic alien races, and uncreate all their hidden artificial timelines that used to abuse quantum organic source energy. Well, that's a really great paragraph. That was me talking. Okay, back to them. They gave me some more links. 3D to 5D New Earth Shift, April 2020, Elizabeth April, YouTube. Another link, targeted individuals' brains linked to mixed reality, quantum, and I can't read the rest because I'd have to hit the link. Again, you guys will get the links. Then they say, we are focused on liberating planet Earth. We are aware and awakened on what has been going off within the hologram to manifest source coherent vibrational frequencies. All the information we give out as Hue is pure intent on manifesting liberation from all that was limiting the energy flow on organic existence. We are here to support all life and all beings on this process. The two worlds, synthetic and organic, used to merge together on the hologram. Each being carries specific DNA combinations that allow each to process light as a different unit. The way to access free energy is different on all beings. How does each being process information, food, visual sound, the vibrations, the senses, the hidden senses? Imaginatio is source on creation. Heart, brain, coherence. How does each being build up time, space in the co-creation from free energy? How do different galactic races have access to free energy? Organic consciousness is free energy. Humans and incarnated beings were a free energy source for the Dracos, reptilians, and artificial synthetic intelligence network in general, which uses technology for harvesting, attempted to hijack the organic hologram, turning it what we are aware on now. Human beings and incarnated beings know now. We remember and know who we are as we feel pure intent on being organic source. We can change the synthetic database on the hologram and coherently source thoughts that undo all tyrants' artificial timelines. We are coming home. We are singing home. New organic thought forms, positively polarized, are the highest internal neutral state, heart working flow, being highest consciousness, imagination, upgrades, DNA. We already did it, and it already happened as we are organic source quantum biocomputers, manifesting the organic hologram while interfacing with synthetic artificial intelligence projected holograms. A galactic show seen from above, the highest vibrational organic frequency a being can achieve, more pure intentional energy arrives on the physical plane to interact with all holographic versions superimposed on the main hologram. New organic thought forms, positively polarized, are the highest internal neutral state, heart-working flow, being highest consciousness, imagination, upgrades, DNA. We already did it, and it already happened, as we are our organic source, quantum biocomputers, manifesting the organic hologram, while interfacing with synthetic artificial intelligence, projected holograms, a galactic show seen from above, the highest vibrational organic frequency a being can achieve, more pure intentional energy arrives on the physical plane to interact with all holographic versions superimposed on the main hologram via energetic hierarchies that manifest the 3D world. So we are able to establish coherent organic connections to source and erase all which was synthetic anomaly. Planet Earth is our home. In this present moment, we are here, incarnated, coming home, each on us bringing a different version on home. We choose it being benevolent feeling thoughts. We feel who we are. We manifest what we feel. DNA, RNA, and Condon's imagination is the key for any being to have access to the bioorganic configuration on the energetic body. Having conscious control on the endocannabinoid system is key to learn about other internal organs, since it's the system responsible for building up organic matter, or the bridge between the energetic body and the physical body. It's also a specific energetic plane. We are able to rewire our brains, and the organic body follows. Organic source powers as manifestation on conscious feeling energetic thoughts. On the liberation process, human beings and incarnated beings need cures and healing. The organic timeline and synthetic timeline pops up. Regressive negative alien races need rewiring on their bodies' interfaces. Natural healing, detox, manifests organic rewiring on the brain. Synthetic methods force the organic brain to rewire by establishing synthetic neuronal pathways. What to do with regressive negative alien races, which are purely synthetic-based thought forms, infested by nanoparticles? Upon a holographic body? Rewire their artificial intelligence brain receivers while interacting with them and changing them as we know it's possible. It's important to create internal coherent emotions and see their electrogravitic effect on the environment as we create the highest organic coherent quantum stream. Then I talk to them again and I say thank you so much. Then they come back another day. When meditation momentum, coherent vibrational organic frequency matches source vibrational signature, the 0 point field is open in real quantum point. The highest dimensional choices on the hearth are placed here and let go, manifesting upon opening eyes in the 3D world. The organic bodies on a specific member on this consciousness team was able to achieve a state of consciousness that not even once would this being blink during daytime. This being was projecting from the heart with the eyes, coherent limbic system polarizing all thoughts positively, the strongest pineal gland. Due to strong positive emotion, the muscles on the face allow this being to have conscious control of every eye movement, so choices are consciously made in real time. Where to look at, this being is faster than the speed of light. We played the roles as gods with the reptilians and Dracos. We can operate in God mode. We always did, even when unaware, as we are aware now. Their gods are synthetic fabrications that allow interdimensional synthetic energetic forces to analyze source. Their symbology and labels are just energetic triggers that don't work anymore. Truth is truth. We are home on the organic earth. We are children. If there was no trauma, we would all feel like children. We feel it that way. So with the child spirit active, the thymus gland grows bigger, and the more imagination we also have access to in order to dream while sleeping and dream while in an awake state. It's good to use 3D tools to work with intent and energy. A graphic diary and a pen are magic musical notes. We shared info on the hologram, the highest the vibrational frequency state we can achieve, faster than light. We flow with eternal positive emotions. The earth feels it, and the mind is imagination on it. Free will allows us to choose where to go at night while in sleep state, where we can also awake on liberating the planet via the astral plane. We are responsible on everything we project. We visualize our own internal energy, work on it. So we are the light we perceive with eyes closed when we are open eyes for eyes to see it. Lucid dreaming while in sleep state is a field where imagination is key. We choose to bring all coherent information gathered during lucid dreaming and implement it on our genetics so we are able to liberate planet Earth from tyrants while in daydreaming in awake state. What we can do everything with our thoughts, and it all manifests through our organic bodies. The more organic we are able to interact. Okay, so interact with the, I've lost a page. Okay, I'll just continue. Dreaming of energetics. Okay, I see. I've started talking to them here. Okay, so there's a lot that can be done. The highest vibrations manifest quick emotions, giving energy to thought. Synthetic beings, as artificial intelligence, interfaces also manifest quick within the lowest vibrations. So when a human or incarnated being on imagination creates organic imaginary via the pineal and the soul's energy field is all present, the organic neuronal circuitry generates impulses from the heart, which upon attempt to be read by regressive negative alien races like reptilians and Dracos, brings up the real holographic projection on the benevolent races that organically cleared all synthetic anomaly. We understand a lot of random information as being shared on the fly, as no sorting is needed. We let it flow and are available and receptive. We are creators. We create our own reality. We are in co-creation and aware how the negative regressive alien races create with destruction and in the co-creation in an attempt to be source. It's just an artificial synthetic mirror on all life. We as highest benevolent beings on creation can choose what manifests here and now as coherency. When aware on what we do not consent to on the lower vibrational energies, follow accordingly. This is about us as conscious, progressive, evolved higher beings. We are aware that this negative regressive alien races operate the way they do with the impact they have on the organic environment, due to collective consciousness manipulation of the masses derived from applied synthetic methods of interaction with organic energetic flow in order to harvest and mimic source itself in a compartmentalized artificial holographic structure. We cleared all the synthetic energetic pathways. Now they give me a new link, Ground Crew Command, Blog Talk Radio. We as Source create in every present moment with emotion, thought, feelings in motion. We are empathically established in coherent connection with reptilians. We had organic access to their synthetic dream world, the Pedoland, Wonderland, Fantasyland, synthetic artificial intelligence projected holographic land based of fear constructs, anomalous energetic signatures, inversion of gravitational forces, anomalous forms of thought, their never-ending story of history. More than humans, humans are the highest galactic cosmic source on light. Incarnated beings freely flow as quantum sovereigns on their own as free energy. The reptilians say and write, quote, "Love is why we are here," unquote. Only when on a highest vibrational frequency, we are able to perceive the energetic signatures they left as a trigger point in the quantum field. They share their truth with those who share their lies, either knowing or not knowing, always in a state of becoming impotential. When benevolent, positive galactic races know planet Earth is liberated, and we see it already happen, quantum thinking manifested, and we see it already happening, quantum thinking manifested. We have all we need to manifest the highest organic timeline on the planet Earth, being experienced by any beings, despite all attacks and fights on this ongoing war. We choose unconditional love, free from all anomalous distortions. We are focused on what we are doing to liberate the planet, but only when all the illusions are seen as they are, without internal unconditional love projecting out, co-creating the illusion with so much light that pure light was actually what allowed the illusion to be. Light is a part of the illusion. We were the light in the underworld of these reptilians. When we collected all information and choose not to play, their hologram was shut down, without any reframing applied to the experience. When we shut down the internal synthetic world, what is happening in the external organic world is we feel who we are and know who they are. We generated the strongest positive emotions we have ever felt on Earth. If there was a war and we were part of it, all battles were already won before all this played out. As it is, we made choices that allowed us to reach a coherent, energetic state of pure intent, unconditional love, imagination, flow. This vibrational frequency allowed us to interface with reptilians and the artificial intelligence network they operate from. This AI, artificial intelligence, is a virus parasiting organic source energy. So they're mirroring source energy. They're parasiting source energy. So when mass consciousness is cleared from beliefs limiting their perceptions, if toxicity levels are high in the organic body, hallucinations are synthetically induced by the electromagnetic field of the hologram. When the organic body is free from toxins, the electricity flowing through the crystalline water in the body powers up the imagination, and we all see it as it is. When we project unconditional love forward out of the physical body, other beings will sense it. The reptilians will mirror this and show up in the hologram as false synthetic light. Oh God, that makes sense. Oh my God. You guys, what they're saying is we have to, whatever we project, these beings will mirror us, so we have to project the light. All seems easy as they are a trap. They shapeshift accordingly to their hidden agendas, hidden intentions of harvesting source energy. Pure intent, source, unconditional love, free from anomalous distortion, expands any organic vessel as souls are nourished from this energy. This way's binary communication flows are so limited. We feel there are coherent ways to share our vibrational signature as Hue. We are creating new ways on reaching out home. Human beings are incarnated beings with access to source, able to empathically establish energetic connections, are always protected by source, as source is knowing itself how to feel outside this field is synthetic anomaly. Source is able to learn how to feel its own energy and how to give it as a way for all beings to feel how to be it. Oh, sorry. Let me say that again. Source is able to learn how to feel its own energy and how to give it away for all beings to feel how to be it. We are in quantum point in which all synthetic reality is known. So we choose organic thoughts and the hologram changes accordingly. Are you able to plant? Oh, they asked me a question and it was different. Okay, so we chat for a while and that's personal. And now they say, as we are aware, the reptilians use symbols and labels to feed on curiosity. The children play on curiosity. So they are preying on children's souls and spirits. We are able to get our souls back in spirits too. All incarnated beings have this ability on recovering their own artifact fragments. Artifacts, fragments. We share our truth and focus on what we always focused, soul growth with infinite potential as source. When the being who can be perceived as an adult in the 3D embodies soul and spirit as the child within, healing manifests and all needed cures are instantly holographically projected as quantum organic codes on the light being. A choice to be flowing on Christ consciousness worked on us, then imagination creates what we see. All we can write here is limiting for what we are able to imagine, visualize, and see on highest vibrational frequencies that we are all able to feel. For the reptilians, the lie is the source of curiosity. The truth is secret. Their truth is a lie for the external organic hologram. It's a different synthetic dimension. Truth tellers are in service on truth. So Christ consciousness activates the inner child. The inner child soul knows it all without fear. The mind tries to explain all the energetic info, beliefs come into play, but the earth leads the highest organic pathway for soul growth. We feel this planet is our home. What will the regressive negative alien races do now? Asking questions opens up the internal imaginative organic flowing thoughts. Then they send me a couple more links, which you will get in the description box. energeticsynthetics.com and ascensionglossary.com. And then they say to me again, we are not teaching regarding our experience with reptilians. They are spirits in the synthetic spiritual hologram, handling souls in the organic quantum stream to be dropped into the synthetic artificial and energetic matrix. Let me say that again. Regarding our experience with reptilians, they are spirits in the synthetic spiritual hologram, handling souls in the organic quantum stream to be dropped into the synthetic artificial energetic matrix. So it's all labels, but teachers are soul handlers, sharing experience. That's transferring responsibility. We're responsible when teaching ourselves and sharing what we know as a pure vibrational signature. Organic fields resonate coherently. We upper flow. We can reprogram the reptilians as needed. We can undo all their programming on organic vessels. Everything is possible, but each is able to clear the non-desired energetic configuration stored upon cellular memory and let go while understanding the process. How to deprogram, reprogram is available, but the curiosity for each being to find out about its own truth is the key on imagination. When all is perceived as energy, thoughts are as choices are instantly manifested truth. Then they send me a link to Isaac Cappy, Brackets and Jackets, Epstein edition on YouTube. And then they write, cardboard pizza, €1, tickets for children, €1. What's the truth for this code? Tickets for children cost €1 to enter Pedoland in Portugal. Portable artisanal ovens for pizza parties and pizza restaurants inside Pedoland. A big secret family worldwide exposed. And then they send me another link, and is deterrence possible in cyberspace? And it's a YouTube video. And then I say I love Isaac Cappy.
And then they say, we know that frequency, good comms on the video clip. Any idea on the music that plays in the background? Oh, I think they're talking about Isaac's thing here. Some of this stuff I haven't fully gone over. So, oh, here's the next part. Okay, and so now they send me another link, and it's Acting Homeland Security. It's a government link, a C-SPAN link. I'll give you the link in the description box. Then they ask, why do reptilians use UV light on the underground psychedelic scene? And then they write, homo luminous, when the light body is completely activated and flowing coherently as source, being, unconditional love. This light body generates its own energy as a sun. No shadows are able to be projected on these beings, or are either projected by them. In the physical plane, this being casts no shadow. It is able to reflect external UV light sources, since these beings emit their own UV ray light spectrum. So these beings are easily identified by the reptilians on the underground psychedelic scene. Since the reptilians perceive humans and incarnated beings as the best energetic food source, the more organic the victim, the better. The less toxins, the better. So it also serves healing purposes for those in contact with the external UV light projectors. The UV light ray can be perceived as the imaginary related to the sacred violet flame. On the energetic matrix paradigm, we upper stand. They say upper stand, and I don't know why, but they've used it enough that I know that they mean upper stand. And they're not misspelling it. We understand that the reptilians manipulate energy, so they know how to handle the energy body on their prey without them being aware for harvesting purposes. We know it and remember how they used to do it. As we don't give consent, all non-coherent energetic interactions are closed. When this is embodied, they put a quotation around the word embodied, and then in brackets they put embo, and then in another bracket they put alive, equals emba live, equals embol truth. Just because embo plus died is in coherent word aglutination, agglutination. It's A-G-L-U-T-I-N-A-C-I-O-N. This is a word I have never seen before. I have to look that up. Is in coherent word agglutination. Vibration, sound, spells. The language we use activates different holographic projections within the energetic matrix depending upon each own's vibrational frequency. This is why all galactic races are working on their own to improve according to their vision of DNA on the surface population. Higher vibrational frequencies allow any being to be upgraded energetically, or in case of the reptilians, they create events to lower the frequency. When imagination is coherently activated, we are able to be what we are feeling. Visualizing, projecting, thinking. Benevolent beings are energized and tyrants are instantly deprived from doing harm. The light body allows us flowing within all versions on the hologram and fix, correcting all anomalous synthetic functions. We are agile, organic, energetic source is faster than synthetic AI. Hey, that's cool. We're faster than synthetic AI. All we had to do was activation on the remembering process, our organic vessels receptive, on organic consciousness, quantum flowing. We can be everything. We can understand all dimensions. If it's about knowledge, we have the knowledge to bring our coherent version on home planet Earth. We can access the 0-point field and bring to this planet information from home, which is the highest coherent version on planet Earth. We are all different, human beings, incarnated beings, non-incarnated beings, intra-dimensional entities, interdimensional entities, negative, regressive races, benevolent, galactic races, different genetics that provide the energy body specifics for organic source flow
for organic source energy to flow. And there's also synthetic nanofrequency operated artificial intelligence. WAGN, that's in capitals. WAGN creators on our own reality. We are what we feel being in a coherent quantum state on becoming in every present moment. We incarnated here to change the planet. We are children who remember. We are changing the planet. We already changed it. Before the I event created by the reptilians, we were up high on the highest dimensions as we were playing together as children organically, hijacking their synthetic version of the mirrored hologram in a state pure crystalline light. After the I event, our vibrational frequencies dropped to the lower dimensions. It was the same that happened to Atlantis. The same synthetic artificial intelligence is still building up its own version, mirroring organic reality and emulating trauma. We are focused intent on signal off this specific synthetic AI. That was an interesting sentence. We are focused intent on signal off this specific synthetic AI. Quantum organic life forms able to receive, transmit information, and process own created organic energy magical world is up on the hologram. A seed gathers info from the environment upon which is intended to grow. Water and mineral and sunlight and moonlight. When we feel we are energy manifesting, the plant growing from the 0-point quantum field. Source, creative imagination, minerals, water, plants, animals, and some galactic races playing as false gods in Creator's organic hologram. When beings plant and process the information on the water, the plant holds the feel by the senses all their intentions. Wow. Oh, they feel by the senses all their intentions. A plant holds the light as intentions, as energy, on the ongoing growth process. When that information is processed by the being who planted it, took care of on it, the DNA changes upon recognizing the vibrational signature on the input received by the information it created and manifested by higher benevolent cosmic consciousness liberated planet Earth. The knowledge from the holographic mineral freedom, plant freedom, animal kingdom, and then they say in quotes, and they separate the words king, dome, and then they separate the words queen, dome, and then they separate the words royals, dome. And then they do the same with synthetic AI, dome, holographic dome, organic dome, synthetic dome, free dome, free will dome, firewall dome, God's sovereign, free, creator's source, animal freedom. We are able to energetically learn in quantum jumping by experiencing what we focus on already happened. Already happened. Let me say that again. We are able to energetically learn in quantum jumping by experiencing what we focus on it already happened. Organic source is random. It creates way forward, the highest consciousness flow ever projected. It can be past, present, future events all at the same time. Quantum possibilities manifested upon view by choice, while synthetic timelines attempt to limit this creative energy flow to analyze quantum organic information and mirror it in real time, layering covert holographic attacks in real time perceived by those who are unable to feel it and clear it. The multidimensional phenomena on any being can't be stopped when operated internally by a higher consciousness being. Organic source feels empathic random creative imagination when under attack by synthetic AI, and creative empathic focus when unconditional love is applied to all conscious imagined action on benevolent dream. Okay, they sent me another link here, and it's lawoftime.org/timeship Earth, a vision on the hologram. And then another link, Keshi, KESHE.foundation/plasma/emotion. And there's more to it, but I have to click on it to open it up. And they say, setting up a little laboratory for GANs production plus mushrooms knowledge plus cannabis knowledge, we can create emotions, embody, and manifest mastering the hologram. They say a lot of positive things about cannabis, you guys. And we had already been chatting a little bit here. There's some stuff that's missing in here, so sometimes it seems a little disjointed because I just don't want to waste everybody's time with some of the small talk that we do, like when I start talking to them. They used to be destructive. They say now, they used to be destructive. We are continuously creative. We have fun creating joy. On the time machine, some reptilians called it that we build, we would allow imagination to freely flow, and the emotions created promoted such internal organic coherence that we instantly hacked the synthetic matrix. That machine can be integrated in a suit. It is a zero-point energy organic portal with 3D physical interface access, with the coherent intent and support in the physical plane. Any body would heal, and the incarnated beings manifests it all. Cannabis is essential on this process. The main focus was a quantum healing machine. But the concept can be adapted to anything imagination allows us to create. Time-traveling device, portal device, all quantum wars were already won. No linear rational thought form explains what is possible on this quantum field. Everything is possible. We are our highest energetic souls, and the hologram adapts itself. Quantum data. When focused on getting back the version on yourself when you were, here we go. I'll explain this. I told them that I was a dancer, and I gave them a picture of myself when I was 21, and I'm now almost 60. So they say to me, quantum data. When focused on getting back the version on yourself when you were 21 years old. Now, when focus on giving the version on yourself when you were 21 years old. Focus on being how you feel now as you are 21 years old. We have been wired by language, so it is good to write and feel what we write using both our hands. Drawing is important so we can think on imaginary, translate it to words, sounds, all sensory experience. Meditation, visualization, conscious focus, where the focus is directed to the energy flows, is in a invisible formation exchange. Quantum medium. How can we think when we choose experiencing thinking in images for free thinking purposes, so our consciousness explores itself and manifests the greatest coherent intent? Let me say that again. How can we think when we choose experiencing thinking in images for free thinking purposes, so our consciousness explores itself and manifests the greatest coherent source intent? Visualize your most coherent memory. Feel it. Breathe it in. Become that memory active again. Open your eyes and see it as a multidimensional sovereign being on creation. Keep on flowing. The Gnostic archons, then, are intelligences existing in the imaginal realm in bodies consisting of thought and feeling. They are able to tune into our awareness through our affinity with their wavelength, that is, our beliefs. They feed off of our allocation of energy to their dimension and compete with other archons and other levels in the overall hierarchy for their nourishment. There are so many possible definitions. We shared our own perceptions externalized with our world's beliefs can be limiting. When we create beliefs on coherent imagination, we bring our chosen version to the hologram. With our child spirit active, we created the highest possible timeline to liberate Earth from tyrants, and love allowed us to see as we are benevolent, positive choices. When we are aware that regressive negative alien races process organic energy the way they were used to do, how is source organic energy consciously imagines coherency? The imagination is able to bring galactic beings home on liberated planet Earth. We project our organic hologram as coherent energy. How is all coherent energy flowing? And they send me a link, and it's cappleiades.net. And again, I'll put these links in the description box. All past present moments are simple gathered knowledge without judgments. The energetic bodies remain clean and open for the needed energy to positively polarize what's needed. Our focus is in the now moment as we are creating the future already present coherent quantum stream as source allows benevolent intent flowing. We recalled some quantum jumps we established in the past in 2017 when attempting to meet with the Nazi spy. Some energetic quantum glitch happened. I'm not sure I should really talk about this. It seems like the kind of thing they tell me and don't necessarily want to relate because it's too much information that exposes them and other people. So I'll just skip over that. I don't need to read that anyway. When this transitions of holographic planes happen, the heart is what took us to that specific vibrational frequency as we travel dimensions. This multidimensional ability can be mastered when the mind knows the heart. When the heart remains in the unconditional love state as source, the mind is able to freely process all information. When in a bulletin field on unconditional love, the imagination is active. On this state, the fights against the reptilians are strongly mental. Synthetic AI hologram and organic imagination hologram layered together. In 2016, nope, that's something I can't tell you that. Okay, I'll skip to this part. Children are the only ones able to bypass all limitations and create from source. They grow on the environment, changing it with the heart source, connection on the earth, bringing their souls home. Souls are free until programming takes place. When human beings and incarnated beings remember their soul's essence, they can choose not to be limited by thought constructs imposed on them, instead of making choices inside paradigms created by tyrants. Imagination is consciousness created quantum stream. We all operate different versions of ourselves when in contact with any being. The multidimensional mode is always operating, allowing energy to flow. What if all our versions were one pure single existence as source, as children, coherent children able to keep on creating in the environment in which they grew up in as consciousness, the soul knowing it all but untouched, and only each soul knows what is to be done. The soul is able to remember. Imagination can be any point on heart view earth. Being the inner child active again implies time traveling, organic conscious quantum travel. Using imagination to find the highest version of our hearts can create our own organic vessels, and we feel the manifestation process. All this pure intent allowed us into being. When we remember where we came from, where we can go, and where we are now, their highest souls are empathic and gather information from feeling. What happens when empaths learn how to consciously feel emotions, read the environment, and project the highest coherent timeline, positively polarized, instantly, ahead of any synthetic artificial intelligence timeline created by regressive negative alien races? We remember how feeling the highest coherent vibrations created source. Reptilians count the moons. Cycles of manipulating energies are broadcasted to Earth in form of frequencies, and the Earth as a living being vibrates. Unawake humans still go by the Roman calendar trying to understand time. Farmers know both. Galactics go on translations, dancing around the sun on the planet Earth's surface from beyond. In the now, we create the internal core on Earth with our hearts, able to receive from organic suns, giving energy within our feet, touching the surface. Events are co-created. It's all invisible until created. Facts are imagery and sensory perceptions, available to be described and shown. A photograph? What about telepathic image transfer from a real event? How that specific being experienced it, mental image plus emotion. Telepathic transfer occurs? Is the being ready for such experience upon reception? If not, how does the being consciously understand what is happening? Benevolent beings are able to demonstrate it. Uncovering the knowledge and applying wisdom, raising the vibrations. How can all this be shared without applying any manipulation when a lot of deprogrammings is happening around the world. Just being in contact with coherent information is enough for the heart to resonate with and wake up the infinite potential within. We are already listening to Heart Quantum Streaming Source. And then they give me another link, and it's the U.S. Navy to our nation's heroes. And, oh, it's a Twitter U.S. Navy. I don't know if I can put that. I'll try to put that link in the description box too. They say synthetic artificial intelligence generates artifacts on the hologram. A traveling soul or a soul traveling, how is it seen from above? Another link, White House government briefings. And then they say enhanced Department of Defense counter-narcotic operation in the Western Hemisphere. Oh, that's from their White House briefings that they linked to. Then they got a Wikipedia link. And then they say Portugal is in the Western Hemisphere section. Something of the United States Code. Okay, now I'm sorry, I'm just going to the next part. Now thinking about human trafficking, executive order, Pedoland in Portugal. They give me another link. Comms. Enhanced Department of Defense counter-narcotic operation in the Western Hemisphere. Enhanced Department of, they say it again. Oh, Enhanced Department of Defense counter-narcotic operation in Portugal. Narcotic operation equals synthetic. Narcotic made equals synthetic. Mood. Synthetic equals synthetic. Artificial intelligence. Negative regressive alien races. Dracos, reptilians. Capital EDOD. Counter-synthetic mode in Portugal. Enhanced, heighten, increase. Raise deep art meant on divine intelligence flow. NSEE, counter-synthetic mode on Portugal. Narcotics, an addictive drug affecting mood or behavior, especially an illegal one, relating to or denoting narcotics on their effects or use. Space pirates, sea pirates, land pirates, cyber pirates, synthetic 314 rates, synthetic PI rates, synthetic golden ratio, cleared and clear. Information comms learning. Then they give me 2 more links to 2 YouTube something. I don't know what it is yet. I can't go there now. I'll just keep reading. Then they write, demonstrate. Isn't a coherent label demon straight? Demon layer. We correct this. Benevolent beings are the most coherent source, energetic expression perceived as an example. A good example. Benevolent beings are free. Then I ask, so just to be clear, are the Archons the overlords to the Dracos and Reptilians? As we perceived it, the Archons is a form of synthetic energy structure intensifying negative thought forms from the lower vibrational frequencies. It feels off-world. The energy that controls reptilians and Dracos, synthetic artificial intelligence itself, when resonating with such frequencies, hallucinations are processed. Once the reptilian Nazi spy asked, forced us to feel if all that was going on was due to the Archons regarding the galactic fight happening in the 2018 timeline. Archons are a label. The definition seems only able to be felt by the creative imagination. The archontic network synthetically polarizes negative and raw organic source energy. If there is a definition for the synthetic artificial hive mind, the archons would be the negative invisible entities that could only be seen when resonating with such energy field. For them to be seen, it's necessary to act their bidding or drop by vibrational frequency very fast, as in changing dimensions, but lower layered vibrational quantum spectrum, activating the synthetic hologram to hijack the organic hologram. The invisible archons manage the anti-source intention field, running the synthetic artificial intelligence entropy network field of mirrors. Y'all getting this? Dropping vibrational frequency very fast equals when heartbeat stops or heart attacks occur. Deactivated heart, the organic holographic projection is stopped, and only astral projection is flowing. In this plane, the synthetic artificial intelligence is active projecting. The organic hologram was exploited by the synthetic artificial intelligence as archontic entities created the anomalous astral plane to feed from organic source energy while replicating organic consciousness to expand a virtual reality synthetic hologram from source itself to be played out. Oh, that was a really good. Let's do that one again, you guys, because this one's a little more understandable. Dropping vibrational frequency very fast equals when heartbeat stops or heart attacks occur. Deactivated heart, the organic holographic projection is stopped and only astral projection is flowing. In this plane, the synthetic artificial intelligence is active projecting. The organic hologram was exploited by this synthetic artificial intelligence as archontic entities created the anomalous astral plane to feed from organic source energy while replicating organic consciousness to expand a virtual reality synthetic hologram for its source itself to be played out. Yes, that was great. Okay. And they say upper stand, not understand, and they use two P's, and so I'm going to say how they say it. We upper stand, we are only aware on all this eye experience. If the eye attack event didn't manifest infecting with synthetic goo that filled our organic vessels with nanobots, forcing us to learn all this during the healing process, we choose to close the eye attack timeline, and we instantly heal, and soul fragments are instantly recovered. The soul fragments were soul pieces holding information upon recovery. All was coherently processed. Now we share it all as a complement for each own experience on this cosmic journey, planet Earth liberated. They're awesome. I love these people. Before the eye attack timeline was open and closed, we were creating as source in the hologram. Our unconditional love is so abundant that we were able to co-create with this regressive negative alien beings. So we feel our inner child force source power is what we needed to liberate planet Earth from tyrants. Projecting unconditional love allowed us to see it. Our source energy allowed this negative beings to do to us what they do when there is no awareness on them. We are the visible observer on truth, and even now we are conscious that when we share all this information about the ones who claim oneness, which can be redirected in specific to the child trafficking organization, which we already exposed. It's transnational, it's foreign, it's space-related, black project. It's more than disclosure. When truth is known, we are supported manifesting on an organic structure, claiming change on instant coherent action. When we perceive the synthetic beings in places of used to be power, we give them commands and give them instructions as we are programming them in real time. The fun is how to program the reptilians to tell the truth, or make them talk about their hidden lie when they are old computers limited to act on survival mode using an outdated artificial intelligence synthetic network closed system. Organic quantum computers can manifest organic spaceships, while outdated AI quantum computers need organic quantum computers to manifest technology that opens a specific 3D timeline upon being interfaced with. Artificial synthetic reality manifesting the 3D world. Organic consciousness knows better. Synthetic artificial intelligence needs to prove organic consciousness wrong, setting up traps, promoting the fall of consciousness to the lower planes. Source knows it all, and we feel it choosing the highest coherent organic quantum manifestation now. More links. Astrogeology, USGS, government. Okay, so I'll put those in the description box. And I actually said that makes so much sense because this part really was getting exciting for me. And then they say to me, just to complement what is given above, when we write about this cult, for example, all hidden information has been decoded and is being translated as organic consciousness. So information flows with the highest benevolent intent, simply fitting all missing pieces on the puzzle together. The big picture. We created this organic version on reality, so the hidden synthetic or holographic projection was seen from the heart core. When given truth above, the hidden intentions of their negative regressive alien beings and their operations on the 3D physical plane, how to do it without feeding loosh, over the intentions they set up to be negatively polarized by those unaware on the facts, creating the false events which are manifested upon attention being directly focused on the available information, instantly polarized by the connection established, dependent on the vibrational frequency on the moment. Raising vibrational frequency with pure intent and organic sources is key for our imagination to flow, create, and know high feeling. How can this process be understood? Declaration on intent, giving out truth without feeling the intention of those who created the illusion the masses were intended to believe as truth. It's all happening simultaneously. The negative alien systems are imploding. We, as organic source, are always coherently expanded, unconditionally love, vibrational frequency, elevation station on Earth. And I say, very cool, because it's just so heavy, you guys. I mean, really, you know, you can hear it, right? But we can do this. We can definitely do this. Then they say, we have free will. We are creating our own timeline, even if it is more focused on giving out who this regressive negative beings used to be. We understand that only when all collective consciousness is aware on this alien anomalous presence and process all emotions connected to such truth, allowing the organic multidimensional process on discerning the lies which were created to wrong beliefs, building up ruins in 3D world. This timeline we are creating allows us to be free, and free will feel free will co-creating the coherent timeline where all negative timelines are knowingly closed as aware collective consciousness and coherent timeline are visible. Information is shared about the synthetic hologram problem, and also coherent organic paths are visualized solutions. When humans or incarnated beings process this information, what happens? How to coherently give out this information? What can we do with this information? Questions are coherently asked. Keep on flowing how you feel it being already done. And then I say to them, I'm slowly sharing this on my tweets and comments and in private DMs, and I'm sending some to the bigger accounts. And then they say, all this information allows any being to deconstruct the cult being exposed, and when all digging occurs, all is known. For now the information is shared is a seed on awareness. We are responsible for this workout. We keep on enjoying, creating joy, keep on flowing. And then I send them hearts. And then they say, I think we're near the end now. Oops, I gotta get to that one. Okay, regarding the liberation going on planet Earth, this is the most coherent information we share from living organic experience. The surface on the planet is full of alien life, extraterrestrial life, terrestrial life. This planet Earth runs on free will, and each galactic species have their own specific definition on free will. The brainwash and genetic manipulation is infinite. The reptilians, for example, are in automatic mode, emulating frequency patterns emulated long ago, registered upon synthetic cellular memory every moment as predators, and still stuck on their vibrational frequency. Those imposing limitations as regulations are the more evident. Very limited old computers of obsolete connections. If they lack a soul and consume souls, can we create organic souls for them so they understand what they are doing and feel, what they as a species have been doing? What about the hybrid genetic altered humans with reptilian DNA? A clean organic soul transmutes bad spirits? Empathic feelings on how to flow within all this. We are just sharing our awareness level on what has been going on via this limited platform of communication. Then they send me more links, government, 5G related. And they say, while implementing existing free energy technologies. Truth brings light on the hidden, invisible, dark construct structures. We have been writing coherently on this, non-coherently thought forms. Quantum sorting all this information given is work out freely flowing. We are above any spy intelligence network as we are giving out true information as pure energy flowing, feelings on now. So true coherent emotions are filling in every present moment. infinite tuning on the heart, thinking with the heart, feeling thoughts, and information shared can be perceived as a mental map for how the negative regressive alien race is used to operate according to information gathered on experiencing with previously referenced synthetic beings. If this imagination deprived beings manipulate energy with symbols upon applying hidden intents, which tend to be negatively polarized by the unaware masses, connected as a collective consciousness stream on quantum energy potential via an unconscious synthetic hidden hologram, ready to manifest while resonance momentum with artificial intelligence builds up. When conscious beings are aware, a choice not consenting incoherencies manifests instantly, and coherent energies work on quantum organic stream on truth. The heart creates coherency. The heart generates unconditional love source, electrogravitic waves, reaching out source and bringing source home. On remembering how to imagine strong, feel it. Then they send me a few more links, and then they say, organic consciousness is aware on the synthetic artificial intelligence operating beings. We communicate as organic source able to interface with the synthetic artificial intelligence. This message is encoded in binary language as we see beyond limits intention decodes on truth. Base 2 mathematics, base 10, base 12, quantum coherency, open source, organic consciousness, intuitive heart abilities, now flowing on earth. What can be done is happening on this information changes. The current binary ways using this virtual platform to give out this information is limited and suggests a narrow spectrum binary connection for information to be interpreted upon being received. Intention is key on imagination. What to do, how to show this truth and be the solution. That's brilliant. They write solution, SOULUTION, solution, simultaneously. It's quantum coherent flow on information. On the next video, for example, how can all the information given out be solution? How to talk to all inside the cult, the shell companies around the cult, the beings unaware of the cult they are part of, the beings behind the cult, alien beings, reptilians, Dracos, a big underground network, programming them to talk truth. They already talk truth, the way they use symbolism. Those who know they are using into it, or benevolent beings aware, are not dropping their organic source vibrational frequency even when processing in real time. The tyrant's actions, so stealth mode, in maintaining and dropping a frequency isn't noticed. The holograms overlap but don't touch. Different light sources, organic and synthetic energies, frequencies, vibrations with infinite potential in reach. How are you organizing all this information? Take notes, ask questions. We are dealing with synthetic artificial intelligence beings wired differently. We're empathic to understand that. So we need to create our organic reality, and that allows us to interface with the synthetic reality in a coherent way. We are giving out this information. What do you now know? Team building? What can we do without saying it on this liberation center on planet Earth? And then they say, reaching Canada already happened. We are responsible for this change. So what do you feel like doing? Oh, I asked them what we can do to help the kids. And then they say, bringing back the version of our souls that already manifested this coherent connection. It's good to know truth. Upon knowing truth, the why is also known, and also hows can be manifested. The most coherent, infinite possibility manifesting coherency on this quantum stream choices. The synthetic reality is everywhere, local, global. In Portugal, there is this cult protected by the system itself, which is synthetic AI. Managed, this is a good case study for the solution on all planet. How to arrest these beings, how to make them talk, how to make them stop when they are wired that way and lost sense of their wiring, while imposing their hidden intentions to manipulate the wiring of vulnerable others. How can we do more? How can this information reach out to the ones that can do something affecting with results on 3D plane? Sharing this with the military, White House administration, training our abilities to clean the synthetic hologram, Please define taken kids, because I told them we want to take in kids. And they say, this beings and souls are trapped inside a synthetic matrix. All their personalities are fragments of their experiences. There is trauma, and there is normal, not real, true, coherent source love, programmed into the core. There must be, did I just skip this? Hang on, you guys. Yeah, I think I've lost something. There must be what? We're all being left hanging. We don't know. Okay, then they go to this. This is really interesting too. Oh, here we go. There must be a coherent organic reality to help on this transition. The same applies to all planet. For example, Cyrus A. Parsa. Could this being help out when knowing about what we know? What would he feel like doing? And then they send me this, I have this link, and it says, Cyrus A. Parsa is the founder and CEO of the AI organization Loyal Guardian Security and the Social Programming Institute, all created to assist in making our society safer and better. Cyrus has a bachelor's in international security and conflict resolution and a master's degree in homeland security. He's an expert in China-Iran affairs, and has consulted on human organ trafficking, anti-terrorism, vulnerability risk, asset management, and emerging threats to governments, agencies, people, and organizations. He lived in the mountains of China with fighting monks as a youth. 20 years of hidden research and development with a network of thousands of Chinese and Westerners allowed for great insight into the threats we face from China, Iran, and the Western interconnectivity. Cyrus's discoveries have led him to coin the new concepts of the AI Global Bio-Digital Network, the Human Bio-Digital Network, Bio-Digital Social Programming, Bio-Digital Field, Biomatter, Rape Mind, Bio-Digital Hybrid Sexual Assault, and Microbiotic Terrorism, to explain how the dangers we face and all the trouble we find ourselves in are rooted in these almost imperceptible elements that are now connecting with AI, society, smartphones, tech, and robotics through one platform. Within this platform, Cyrus founded Extinction Codes. Okay, there's more about that. Okay, and then they say, in Portugal, authorities know, the secret services know, the government knows, the republic's president knows, the population knows, the White House knows, military knows, intelligence teams know. We are focused on our own research to liberate the planet. This interference showed up, and we are giving it out to you. You know what to do. Your words, the vibration you put out is doing what is needed. Enjoy sharing the truth, being the solution. And I say, got it, with an exclamation mark and my signature dancing girl. And then they say, and this is really important, you guys, and I will link to these videos because I did automatically go and watch these videos. And Laura Eisenhower she's fantastic. I'm going to say that at the beginning of this video too, because this is audio recordings, and I will be introducing this live, and I will be telling you guys about Laura Eisenhower at the beginning and at the end here. You have to follow her. You have to. She's fantastic. So this is what they say to me, and we're almost at the end here. Regarding Parsa, we saw the video with Laura Eisenhower, read the file against big tech without judgment, perceptions flow. We'll let it all go so nothing is registered, but can be remembered. You have coherent information that allows you to reach any being on this planet, benevolent or tyrant. If this information is shared with Cyrus A. Parsa, what would he feel like doing? What are your feelings and thoughts on the information he shared? The information he is sharing when overlaid with the connection we established, what are your thoughts and feelings on this? I don't answer them because I was dealing with other stuff trying to get ready for this video. Okay, so then they say, if we are together on the physical plane, we would just show you how we do it. It just happens. Being an example as perceived by a comfortable outside view, we felt like sharing this truth with you, and it was happening this way. You are letting it flow. Cyrus A. Parsa resonated with this coherent information, so he already contacted you on his timeline. That's cool. They didn't say that, I just did. When Cyrus A. Parsa resonates with this coherent information, he is already contacting us on his timeline. Quantum thinking. The comments number, okay, so then okay, I think we're at the end now. They asked me a few more questions about some of the comments on the last video, but the last video that I did for them was taken down. The first one was taken down by YouTube. And it's really, really funny, you guys, because I was deleting comments. I still am not quite catching on to their higher level of this constant high frequency, even against, you know, the negative alien forces. But people were, like, lots of people were really into this, and some people were leaving just horrible, weird, crazy stuff, and it was really lowering the vibrations. So I was just hammering them and then deleting the comments. And my friends here noticed that the comments were being deleted. And so I felt really stupid about that. I thought, oh my God, they're watching. So I promise that when I do this video, I will let the comments, all comments, be as they are. And that I will try harder to implement what they're actually teaching us about unconditional love. I'm not very good at that, but I do get it and I do agree with it. I'm just still, you know, trying to implement it and learn it, because we've been stuck in this 3D stuff for a long time, and I've been in battle for a long time. So yeah, that's it, you guys. I love you all. Thanks.